See, the thing is this. Mi swali yangu kubwa ni hivi. We live in a very beautiful country. Wacha tuanze na hivyo. It's a very beautiful country in the sense of we are even able to speak about these things at this time, where there is freedom of speech, there is freedom of a lot of things, and we need to agree on one thing. We need to make it better. Now, we've been challenged in the movement time and time again, from time to time. Iko time tuliambiwa, oh, you guys cannot go, you're digital wankers. Watu wakasema, sawa, digital wankers, here we come. Tukaenda June 25th. Wakasema, oh, that's the only time you guys. Wakawaletea military, wakasema nini? Mkasema, by the way, hata Adani hawezi shuka hapa. Mkaenda JKIA. Wakasema, oh, you guys, hii leaderless, tribeless, sijui nini. You guys need to get organized. You guys again organized. We saw people taking up what? The political parties. If you haven't realized, it's a challenge at every step that we are going to through. People have organized through different parties. There's Morara's party, there's the Inject party, there's the Okiom Tatas, there's the Kuruokot, there's different people at different levels trying to get to the same level. I admire what Morara did because a lot of people amongst the youth, he's the only youth, whether we like it or not, difference in ideology, difference in like, hate, love. Hii kitu by the tulisema we don't have to love each other to work together. My only part is this, or my only question is this, or it's a question, general question, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Consistently in the politics in Kenya, there is one group of people that has always been neglected. Hao watu wanaitwa activists. Sijui mbona huwa wanawachwa in the governance side of things in Kenya. Hao ndo walalamishi. By the way, kitu ni ordination. Hiyo kitu ni calling. Hiyo msiwahi danganywa. Mi hiyo sijui hata kama kuna baptism when happen on that side. Some people get paid for it. Some people do it as a vocation. Some people don't. I don't know. It's your calling. Me, I'm not one of them. Because I realized very recently, like, unajua, ni ngumu sana. It might easily, the boundary between being paid and being facilitated is very, very thin. And it becomes chaotic at some point. So swali yangu tu ni, you see, as we speak about representation, there's a political representation, which is the politicians, which is kina Morara, kina KOT, everyone who wants to stand up for politics. And by the way, I think pali tumefika tumekubali, politics ya Kenya, it is a game, and when you get into it, toa emotion, kubali kuplay the game. Whether you like it or not. Itakuwa chafu at some point. You need a support system next to you. And people that show up, not just say mini support yako. People that actually show up, whether they tell you or not, they're showing up for you consistently. This second group of people, which are representation of shida za watu. Shida za watu kwa ground, our activists. Hapo ndo mimi nashindwa. Should there be representation for them as well? A conjunction between the political side of it and the activist side of it. I don't know if I'm making sense for anyone. And by the way, the other push that we need to give is this. Saizi tuko na name registration for the Inject party. Hii party tutapigia kura. Mimi nilisema hivyo. We don't have to agree with idealism at the moment. We just have to agree there is a vehicle. Saizi tumefamalizika tu na name registration only. I hear no one asking about what are the next steps, because if you lose sight of that, mtakuwa tu mmereserve jina. There is a lot that goes into party formation, and which people need to push for. Anyway, sauti ya mwananchi, wacha tusikize wasee. Fabish, ulikuwa hapa next.
Asante sana the co-host Bwana KOT. Nothing, wale wote ambao tumekuwa hapa, tumekuwa kwa pale kwa Morara. Nafikiri mimi nitachukua muda mchache, manake nafikiri watu wameongea mengi. Hata ile maswali nilikuwa nayo kunimuulize KOT, sitamuuliza manake watu wameuliza na KOT amejibu. Ila tu kwangu kwanza nitawapatia changamoto, manake hata nilikuwa nataka sana kuongea na Morara asikie. Mimi nafikiri nitaongea kando kidogo na wale watu ambao wanakuja kusema Msiogope hii, tuko nyuma yenu. Nataka mjue kwamba katika kila uongozi mjue kwamba kuna dhoruba, there will be challenges, there will be a lot of critics. Mtu asiwadanganye kwamba mtakuwa criticized. Even KOT, sisi tuko hapa, kesho I'll be your biggest critic. Unaona? So you have to brace yourself for that. That is why politics is a dirty game. So you know, you don't have, ukiwa Waswahili wanasema kwamba ukiavulia lazima uyaoge. Kwa hivyo hii mshavulia, wote tushavulia, lazima tuoge. Another point ambao nataka kusema na KOT, manake Morara yuko hapo, utastand kama Morara, alafu maybe you will pass those notes na nani hapo Wanyama, ni I think nani pia jaribu Morara and all of us that we are here, please, in as much as we are all in the movement and we support Morara and the team, but let us not dwell much on personalities. Unaona kama Morara alikuwa amekuja vizuri, anatuuliza 2027 is far, lakini ukiangalia almost 2 hours tunaongea tu, tunasema oh Morara this, Morara that. Now imekuwa kwamba we have lost focus, we are now dancing on the tune of personalities. Please, let's stay away from personalities. It is about the movement, it is about the country. Country is bigger than Morara, is bigger than KOT, bigger than Fabish, bigger than Wanyama, bigger than nothing. Even in the absence of Morara, we still have a country. So nafikiri ni lazima tukuje na solution. Ile kitu moja pia nilikuwa nataka kumchallenge Morara, maanake hiyo ndio ilikuwa imenileta hapa sana. Mimi nilikuwa na mchemko, nilikuwa nataka kumwambia kwamba at least in as much as unasema kwamba unaona bado tujapata numbers, but unaweza jaribu one of these fine days we test the waters. Kama utasema tarehe 20 Mashujaa Day, kama utatuambia okay tujaribu ile 12 December, you know, at least kwanza tupime upepo. And then another thing is, in as much as KOT Morara mjue kwamba tukisema kwamba every human being has a price. That is why as a leader, when we say a price is not only about monetary. Do you know government inaweza kuja ama our enemies capitalize on what you love most. Kwa mfano, mtu anaweza kuja akakwambia, hey, I know where your kid is schooling. Because even now as we are talking, we don't know even the security of your families. We know that you guys have very young families. Okay, these are the soft people, because unajua mtu akiguza mtoto wako ameshika moyo wako, hata kama ulikuwa principal namna gani. You know, mimi naweza kujitolea nikasema I'm ready to die for this cause, lakini ikifika maybe kwa mtu ambao nampenda, I'll have to rethink. So mjue kwamba hizo vitu ni vitu ambao lazima muwe mnaangalia kila wakati, inaweza kuja katika kila namna. So please, yes.
Maliza in 1 minute because napeana 333 so that we give a roster of people
Yes, I was actually the one even that was proposing. Now I don't want to be. So yeah, so mjitayarishe hivyo, mjue kwamba security inatoka hata kwa security yenu personally, mpaka pia security ya your loved ones, including your children and those people that they are close with you. So mtajua pia vile mtawaambia kwamba wa behave in which manner, because now we are at war. Kila siku mimi nasema hapa we are at war. So wakitaka kuwa distract, and then KOT usitake kujua watu wanasema NIS pia wanakuja wana post hizi propaganda, because wanajua akituambia kwamba KOT is a mall, alafu sisi tutaanza kutoka, tunaanza kusema sasa KOT tunakuwa distracted. So mjitayarisha hapo mbele, mjue mambo challenges, dhoruba nyingi itatokea, but the challenge is mwambie Morara we need to test the waters. Mtuambie kama ni Mashujaa Day, mtuambie kama ni 12-12, but we need to test the waters first, tujue iko namna gani. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabish, for your contribution. We agree. Guys, good evening. How is everyone? As usual, I start by saluting the comrades we've lost, the injured, and Kenyans at large, and especially those who are missing. There are so many requests, and I would like to let you know that the speaker panel is full, so keep it short. We want to give everybody, we're seeing names we've never seen before, so we need to give everybody a chance. Wanyama, and happy to hear everybody knew you were not the mole. We are waiting for Morara to get back. Let's have Rosemary.
Can you hear me? I can
Wanyama, I
hear
can
you.
hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Sawa. I lost the internet for some time. Okay. Let's do 3 minutes if you don't mind. Then we do the.
Awesome.
Mnanisikia?
Nam.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Asanteni. Thank you so much. Really, I truly appreciate for this chance to speak. Yeah, nilikuwa kwenye ile space nyingine ya Morara ikaanguka, and I'm even seeing this one also ikibabaika kuwa huenda ikaanguka. So just be vigilant. When you try to do a good thing, kuna watu wengi ambao wanataka kuwaangusha. And I think this is what is happening to you young people. Sisi kama wazee tuko nyuma yenu, ama we are standing beside you to support you. I've been on these spaces, especially wakati wa campaign. In 2022, I talked to many young people ambao some of them told me in my face, wakaniambia auntie, sisi hatutapiga kura ama tunapigia Ruto ama nini. But that is a story for another day. Hiyo imepita. Tugange yajayo. All I'm saying is that I just want to wish you all luck. I am watching very closely mambo ya inject party, and somebody articulated it very well. Akasema kuna inject party, kuna ile ya Ekuru, kuna ile ya nani ya Okiya Mtata. I support inject and Okiya. Ekuru, not too much. I've interfaced with him in Liberia. I wasn't quite impressed. He has some air of arrogance and entitlement. But be that as it may, Morara is doing very well. Mtu amwambie hivyo, na mimi pia, of course it's being recorded, kuwa so far he's doing very well. Watu watampiga vita. Of course, what happened at Bomas of Kenya is totally unacceptable. Hiyo hata enemy yako hutaki. Niliona mama mwingine size yangu amechukua kiti amerusha, and even on the microphone, I don't know who that lady was. I believe it was Elachi, ambaye alikuwa anasema, wewe Moraro umekuja hapa kutuharibia mkutano wetu, piga usijui nini. I mean, any adult, sane adult, huyu anataka apelekwe Mathare kama alisema hayo maneno. And really, some of those people through your network, you should find out wale ambao walikuwa wanarusha hivyo viti. Why do I say that? Mtu akiwa atavunja sheria namna tuliona right in front of the camera, that they should be brought to book. Sio Morara kuwa arrested 10 times when wakora wanatembea na they're just getting away with murder, literally. So for Morara, I listen to him. And this is what I want to say. And I'm going to be brief. Manake, kuna watu wamezungumza karibu dakika 5, dakika 10. It is totally unacceptable. Just give 2 minutes. We air, we give our support. Morara and the team is doing very well. Mimi naombea kila laheri. Muendelee vivyo hivyo. Na mtapigwa vita na watu wengi. But stand steadfast. Kaa ngumu. Kama ni fundraise, continue to fundraise, but account. For me who lives in the US, I think transparency and accountability is very important. You must account for every nickel and dime and shilling that you get. Hiyo ndio ina build confidence in people. I also sent a text to Morara. He never answered. I think he gets too many. I had some information that would have helped, but who am I? What do I know? But I believe that everybody's opinion is very important. So atupatie hiyo nafasi, wengine wetu tumueleze kama hiyo itamsaidia ni sawa. Kama haitamsaidia ni sawa. I yield my mic by saying, alisema kuwa he gets very angry. He's a young man. He's allowed to, and he's a human. Lakini when he gets angry, don't use the platform kututangazia, because people just want to know where you are. Ukisema unakwenda vacation, wanasema unakwenda vacation ama holiday, na sisi huku tunakusubiri to be led by you. So some of those things probably keep them off the public. If you folks can tell him about that, I yield my mic, and thank you very much. And I think you're all doing a commendable job. Thank you.
Rosemary, thank you so much kwa huo wasia wako, tunashukuru. I wish to ask you if it's possible for you to rally mothers or women for Morara, because we need, and for the movement essentially, would be nice, because we need to prepare ourselves for 2027, and the journey has already started. So if you may, Juliet, your mic is on, kindly mute your mic. If you may, and then after that, the voice you will hear is for culture, then Wanyama can run the show for a bit. Rosemary, is it possible you mobilize women for Morara, ladies for Morara, girls for Morara? Thank you.
I try to mobilize a couple of women, na hata mimi every Friday, we have a prayer group. We included him in our prayers na kila kitu. So, you know, I'm definitely playing my part, and I want to urge each one of you, kila mmoja wetu. I think there was a poll ya civic education, ya impeachment, ya Adani. Mimi nikasema civic education, because we need to change our mindset no matter where we are. Sasa ile kitu nilivyokuwa nimetuma ile Tesco Morara, kitu ambacho nilikuwa namwambia, let me put it here. It's not a secret. Na mimi I'm not looking for any favors. Kama kuna evidence, now tunayo, and that evidence can be found. And I know you may say, oh, US, they are the big boys, na nini nini, but I can tell you, I can show you where that evidence can be taken to prove kuwa Kenya is bloody corrupt, ama some individuals wamestash some money and what have you, and they will go after them. Morara needs to be exposed in the US. He needs the West to support him. If you've heard of the New World Economic and Information Order, you know, kuna people who decide who will be leader. Yes, tunaweza kupiga kura. We are preparing even for kura ya November 5th in the US. I'm actually serving as a comms director for African women for Kamala Harris. So mimi mguu moja iko US na mguu moja iko Kenya. Lakini my heart, Kenya ni home. So thank you very much for that encouragement. Na pia mimi naombea kila laheri for what you're doing. Asanteni.
Shukran, culture, and then Wanyama, you can run it for a bit, then I will take over, or we can interchange. Thank you, Rosemary.
Okay, guys, can you hear me?
Culture,
Yeah?
3 minutes, 3 minutes.
Sawa sawa. I listened to Kenyan Lady, and I hope Kenyan Lady you're hearing me. I'm in the same situation you are. Mi niko Kenya na niko US. I'm a dual citizen, muenda 6 months na 6 months. I'm settling back to Kenya after being in the US. Na ndio nashindwa, diaspora tuko wapi? Where are you diasporans? Why is Ruto walking in New York? Na watu najua wako Boston, kuna watu wako New Jersey, mi siko karibu na New York. But they are very big close. There you can't be short. You can really walk up to him and tell him what you think. Why is Ruto walking around the globe and Kenyans are everywhere? Wako Germany, wako kila pahali. We need to organize a national day for protests, for diaspora. Najua we contribute money, and by 2027, they are saying diaspora will be contributing $1 trillion in dollars. Hiyo ndio sasa Ruto wanaangalia. That is the next step. Because now you see they've done pay bill. So all the money you're sending to your families, Ruto is coming for you. So we need to start protesting. When Ruto travels somewhere, we know he's traveling. There are people close there. You have friends. I have a lot of friends in the US, even Americans. Wataenda. You pick up your friends, you pick up Kenyans, and we go. Because now I'm trying to settle in Kenya. Nanunua shamba ndio hiyo watu wanajaribu kuiba, umekimbia Kenya. Because corruption. Ruto is running to white people to invest, but Kenyans can invest back home. We can create companies. But what is it we're doing? We're trying to run after the money that we've already invested, see if it's stolen. I'm running, looking after my shamba every 6 months to make sure it's not stolen. You're in court. Ndio huo mimi niko kila pahali. Instead of being at peace, I'm trying to settle home, ni kukimbia. When I buy something in the US, I'm comfortable. Hakuna mtu ataiba. So anyway, I'm just saying diasporans, apart from money, we can do a lot. This guy is traveling all over the world. He's in New York. We need to be in New York. He cannot be walking through the streets of New York in peace. And if you NIS kama mnasikiliza, Ruto should not be walking in New York in peace. Uko mwezi to shoot. You can't shoot us. If I slap Ruto, the biggest is a misdemeanor. I'll be in jail for 48 hours na nitolewe. So we need to protest abroad. We need to protest abroad, diasporans. We are so many and we are very, very powerful. We have the money to sponsor our own candidate. We can hold Morara and sponsor him. The last thing I wanted to say was about a space I was put for this old politician who my dad told me, nikikuwa mtoto mdogo, Kalonzo alikuwa government. Kalonzo was in government when my dad was a kid. So this guy, what exactly, because he'll be the first person to cut a deal with Ruto akishindwa. And what we are saying, before I wrap this up, is the problem with Kenyans, what we've done is we've not prosecuted the past. So Mandela, when he got his freedom, he didn't go back and say, we need to prosecute alisahau. White people own the whole of South Africa. Kenya, it's the same. White people, the biggest landowners are white people. And we haven't prosecuted the Kenyattas. We haven't prosecuted the Mois. That's why Ruto is coming back and stealing. We need to say, let's revisit the past. Na kila mtu ameiba, we go after them. If they die, Moi is dead. His son is here. The son, huyu mtoto wake yuko hapa. Tuende tuchukue vitu zetu, hiyo ni pesa yetu. Kenyatta si yuko. Akienda, watoto wake warudishe hiyo pesa. Ruto akienda, watoto wake warudishe hiyo pesa. If the kids are not there, we go for the grandkids. And me, I have kids. And naambia watoto wangu, hawa muwafuate hata nikikufa. That is what you guys need to promise me. That you go after their kids and their grandkids and their baki your pesa. That's when we will have peace. And let me just land, but I just wanted to speak to diasporans. Apart from sending money, we can do a lot. We can mobilize watu wafanye protest one day in New York, wengine wako Atlanta, wengine wako Germany, on the same day so that we can raise really awareness and we can raise a lot of press, especially about Adani. The last thing, the guy in France who exposed this deal, he needs money for lawyers. I saw him post. So guys, let's contribute for him because I know he's running around Europe ni kufuatwa na fuatwa. And I told him, put a diaspora space, we contribute money for you because he's going through a lot, but he's very, very brave. But that's all I wanted to say. A diaspora, we need a space. I don't know who can be able to organize it. Let's create a space and let's do our own demos around the world. Everywhere where somebody is, tuchague date, tuende embassies, tuende kila pali, to raise awareness what Ruto is doing to us. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Culture. I agree with you. I support the idea that diaspora needs to do more, especially because they are always telling people who are back at home what to do, how to do it. Yet you're in an environment that it's easier to picket, easier to create awareness. I've seen that you're a media personality. You need to do more even for the movement. But thank you. Make sure that doesn't end here. We had a diaspora space some times ago, but we need more of that so that we can call each other out. Thank you. Juliet, you have the mic and take 3 minutes, please.
Thank you so much, KOT Sonko, Wanyama, and of course to the other co-hosts, and to all the key to everyone who is speaking here today, and to all the listener. Kwa majina naitwa Juliet Makapila, and I have just also been onto the other platform, and then it went down, and then I saw this one. So I said, let me just listen. But first of all, I want to start off with saying corruption destroys humanity and kindness. And it's something that I tweeted a while back and wrote about. Corruption destroys humanity and kindness. And I want to just also appreciate all the youths who are looking into governance issues in Kenya. I want to appreciate our young or youth, Murara, and he's a lawyer as well. I want to appreciate his background, and also I have 2 or 3, 4 suggestions to KOT and his group, and to everyone who is wanting to see a better Kenya. So just food for thought. Everything in life, let me say that, napenda sana kusema everything in life is politics. And I want to remind every single Kenyan. And imefika wakati ambao tunaangalia Kenya yetu na tunaona pale mambo imefika. And to see that a youth who is passionate about bringing highlights about every corrupt project in Kenya is being arrested because he is saying so. And it's so many people who are saying so. But these youths have got skills. They've got technology skills. And I want to appreciate you youths and Gen Zs and Millennium and everyone. Come on, I just want to really, really just, appreciate you so much. But I want to say something to you guys. Everything every day is politics. Ukienda shule, you have to think about school fees and all that. That is politics in itself. A hospitali, when you're trying to build hospitals, that is politics. Kiatu ile unavaa, when you're trying to do budgeting and everything, serikali inaingilia, inafanya your taxation and all that, every day is politics. For that reason, I want to encourage every youth to ensure that in the next election, hata kama uvotingi, hata kama unasikia ni utaki hata kuvote, just make sure, number one, I said I'll give you 3 things. Ukwe na voting card yako. Ukwe na voting card yako. That is one way to ensure that you're able to elect the right leadership. Number 2, I hear mnataka kuandikisha a political party. If you're going to do that, because the systems in Kenya or Africa, let me say Africa, sometimes hata kuandikisha political party, the blockages that you come across, it is absolutely needing help. I want to call upon the Law Society of Kenya to ensure that anybody that wants to register political parties in Kenya, wanaweza kuregister, that there are no blockages in between, and it is made easier for new political parties to be able to register themselves. That is one thing that I also want to say to Kenyans here.
Julia, your time is
okay. Let me just add me 1 more minute, please. So finally, I want to ask Kenyans to think about reformation in the Constitution of Kenya, because without reformation in the Constitution of Kenya, even standing kwenda to the top position, you have challenges. So for those few remarks, I want to leave you again with: corruption destroys humanity and kindness. And thank you so much, Sauti ya Mwananchi, because you're here. But be good citizens. Fight for good governance across Kenya, because that good governance is what is going to help us, all of us, and transform Kenya. Asanteni. Back to you.
Asante Wanyama. Okay, as we wait for Wanyama to come on, the real Joe, 3 minutes, please. 3 minutes.
Thank you. Should I call you Nothing? Why that name Nothing?
You want to spend your 3 minutes on my name?
Yeah, no, I'm surprised.
The idea is...
I'm disturbed by that name anyway, but let me just leave it.
No, you shouldn't. There's nothing going on in Kenya, and we want to turn that nothing into something.
Yeah.
So until it turns into something,
I find it weird.
it's going to be
I
nothing.
find it weird calling you Nothing. Anyways, that's okay. Number one, I wanted to just say a few things. But one, I wanted to know why we have this title 2027 is far. I wanted to know the idea behind the title, but KOT is here. Morara, I wanted to get it from Morara, but maybe I'll get the answer in another day. There's this saying that by John Maxwell, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. We have this tendency of celebrating people who want leadership positions and massaging them and applying oil on them, and they become so soft, and it becomes a problem to us. It comes and bites us. I've said this several times in spaces, that we need to be very selfish in selecting people we want to take up leadership positions. There are some traits that scare me off when it comes to selecting leadership. I wanted to be very categorical in this. I have heard people when we were having the other space, I think it was the Kenyan lady, you are trying to tell us not to talk about Morara and things like that. We need to talk about them. If he has decided that he wants to take up leadership, he needs to communicate in a certain way. I have problem, first of all, with the communication of Morara. And I think one speaker had also talked about that. If you want to be a leader, I don't think it is right for you to come and tell us that, you know what, you work on your thing, let me work on mine, I will consolidate you later. That is not a leader for me, and I have reservations with that. Number two, I have issues with when a leader says, someone who wants to be a leader, I mean, I will not call you a leader. Someone who wants to be a leader, when this person says that, you know what, you guys contributed money for me, but those who want their money back, I want to give you back your money. I mean, our constitution wants accountability. If you want to come to leaders, you must be accountable. Even when I give you just 1 shilling and total collection becomes 30 million, I want accountability for my 1 shilling. That should sink. And these are some of the traits that we see and we ignore. Then later on, they come and bite us. There are traits that we need to remove. Even you, KOT, you want to become a leader. There are traits that you also need to desist from. I mean, you cannot be a leader and unajua we KOT unaita Ruto Sugoi Butcher. Out wakikuita mall. You are not a mall, but that is just hizo ni terms ziko huko. Don't delete X and delete yourself. Become strong, bana. We don't want Serelak leadership.
Hey, Real Joe, ngoja kwanza. Yes.
Real Joe, your time is up.
No.
I don't want
nothing
anyone
KE.
coming for KOT.
Just a minute. I want to respond to the Real Joe. Real Joe, can you hear me? Because I want to respond to you directly. Just give me a heads up.
I can hear you.
Okay, so Real Joe, I call Ruto's the Sugoi Butcher because of the following reasons. Number one, we had comrades in Githurai being massacred under the watch of William Samoei Ruto as the president of this nation. We had friends of this movement from Kitengela who were shot dead. We had Rex Masai, who was shot on the first day we had Mandamano, and Ruto was the president. He is currently the commander-in-chief of the Kenya Armed Forces, and even he oversees the National Police Service. And so when those people were murdered, when they were killed, our friends, my age mates, people who were barely 24, 23 years, 20, 18, and some children, when they were shot dead in cold blood on the streets. That's the reason why we call William Samoei Ruto as the butcher of Sugoi. Because when those people were murdered, over 60 people whom we can account for, Ruto has never spoken anything about them. And we had over 350 bodies in Nairobi city mortuaries that were found there, and the only reason walikuwa wanatupatia why they were there is because they were sijui they died due to accident, but honestly they were killed. Number two, we had something called huko kulikuwa kunaitwa Shakahola massacre, where hundreds of Kenyans were murdered. Apart from that, we have Kware massacres, where women in this struggle were murdered. But the head of this nation, the head of the state, said nothing over that. And that's why we said, he is the butcher of Sugoi. Sasa hapo mimi siwezi sema ati mimi nilikuwa najitetea wakisema mimi ni mall, and so hiyo ni criticism kama ya Ruto venye tunamuita the butcher of Sugoi. No, it's not a criticism. It's because mimi you cannot prove anywhere that I'm an NIS or I'm a mall. But for Ruto, when we call him the butcher of Sugoi, you can prove because he's the president. He's the head of state. But everything that has been happening, we've lost so many souls in this nation under his watch. He's never spoken about that. We've lost children who were banned uko Nyeri, the dormitory. Nobody spoke about that. Ikaisha hivyo. Hapo Kware we were brought that guy whom they said is the mastermind behind that massacre. They took him to a police and then wakamwachilia akatoroka. Then they come here to tell us that guy escaped with 12 Eritreans. Mbona haku escape na Kenyans wenye tunajua? Mbona escape na people from other country whom we don't know? And so when we say the guy is a butcher of Sugoi, you know, tunasema hivyo kulingana na what has happened, what we've seen, not what we've heard, what we've seen, what is in the record. And so when you say Mabonga is a mall, you just heard about that. You have no evidence. But when we say Ruto and his regime, they are butchers, it's because we've seen what happened to our comrades. And of course, me personally, I'm unapologetic over that, because we've lost souls. We've lost people in this nation. You guys, umepoteza watu bana. Yeah? Na mimi usema hivi because I'm bold enough to say this, because mimi tunajua death ni once and for all. Ukipigwa risasi unapigwa mara moja, unakufa, unaenda, tunakusahau. So hata mimi nikisema hivi, when they come to abduct me, to kill me, it will be once and for all, but the truth will remain the same. So bana, religious sijai kujibu hivyo, lakini ni hivyo tumetaka kujibu, but let me bring you back to the mic.
As KOT does that, and the next voice you will hear is of Wafula Wanyama. I want to respond to the real Joe. I tried, right? I gave it a shot. Wanyama.
Just a second before you respond to him. I think there's two ways of looking at this thing. First of all, I think I need to speak to both Real Joe and KOT on this thing. One is Real Joe might have used the wrong example. I think the feedback here, KOT, is you will experience these things. I think that's what his message was, or maybe I got it wrongly. The point is you'll experience these things. Na pali kunaenda ni kama ajua Real Joe anakuanga mtu wetu wa gumzo on this side. So saa zingine example inakuwa mingi. So maybe he misfired on that one. So, but the point is this. Things like being called a mole, a harlot, au hizi vitu zote tumeziona kwa siasa. They affect you, sometimes they don't. But they happen in the vicinity of politics in Kenya. Will it change to be better? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But these are things that you should be expecting. On the other side, Real Joe, improve quality ya examples. Uko na point, ni kama vile ili weba ansemanga uko na ndoto kubwa. Lakini unalala sana. Nothing K. Back to you.
All right. I wanted to disagree. Oh, I'm happy to see Joshua. I wanted to disagree with what's his name, with the Real Joe. KOT's mom has been threatened. They've been harassing his family. So we cannot allow people to think bullying is okay. And especially because it was obvious KOT was not a mole. And thank you, Wanyama, for telling him he cannot compare oranges and bananas. That's just absolutely wrong. I also want to call out, Wanyama, you'll come for my rescue. Men, we are looking for leadership from men because God has given you authority. But sometimes you go through the TL and the people picking up on the most unimportant things are men. Where are we going to get leadership from when you're compromising your authority?
Nothing.
We want men to lead by example.
Hey, nothing.
And allow me. I'm saying this with love.
Because where you're taking that conversation is a very wrong way. We are not here to discuss about men and women. And I think that would be very wrong, start saying here, men. I think many people will agree with me. So kindly, pia wewe bwana angalia vile unaongea.
I withdraw, but I'm just looking for leadership. Wanyama, take it on.
Baada huku kidogo tu nimekaa kidogo, kombora zimetupwa kidogo, kuna mtu ananyamazishwa kidogo. Jamaneni guys. You were supposed to be next. Chukua dakika 3 ya ukweli.
Okay, thank you so much, Wanyama. I'll try to be very brief, like a cock on a hen as usual. Okay, I totally want to agree with the real Joe, because the real Joe amanza conversation and most of us don't want to hear. You see, when you want to become a leader, you should be ready to be critiqued. And from my understanding, what real Joe alisema, because he had the very same point yenye alikuwa anataka kusema. KOT, you guys, you asked for politics. So what these people are giving you, they're giving you politics. We are here to play politics. Na tukianza kulialia saizi, then I'm worried. Ikifika karibu time election, where even some people, you guys, you know what is politics. Muliona vile Morara alifanywa pale Bomas. Because that is politics. And it's very sad that that's our Kenyan politics. So just to summarize what Joe said, but I'll say it in a different language, KOT, once you tell people that you're a politician, kuna mtu anasemanga, a politician must have a goon, and a politician without a goon is a goon by himself. When I say about having goons, simaanisha ati to cause violence or anything, it's for your own protection. Kama Morara pia angeenda pale hivyo na kuwe na watu wenye misuli tinginya, ama wale watu wenyeonekana wezi tishiwa, I think everything will be okay. So what I want to tell you is, let us be realist. Let us be grounded in reality. Hii ni siasa. We are no longer discussing mambo at we are so conservative, sijui nini. Because at the end of the day, ni wote umia. You'll tell us you don't like sijui utaki kwa zote with goons or anything. Utenda mali utapigwa na utaumia KOT. So what Real Joe is trying to say, you guys asked for politics. Then you should give politics. Stop crying here, KOT. Mtu akikutoe ni mall, even if you are not, please stop crying on the TL kuanzia asubuhi hadi jioni. We lose the conversation. Saizi tangu tuanze imekotol about KOT is not a mall, KOT is not a mall. And as someone who has been in politics for long, I can tell you that is nonsense. If we wanted politics, let us play politics. Tuache kulialia. My next point. I totally disagree with Kenyan lady. There's something she said. Asioni mtu anattack Morara. Morara, what are you telling us? Do you guys know what you call a supreme leader? A supreme leader, kama huyo Kim Jong-un, they can't be critiqued. Hata ukimwambia something amefanya wrong, people will start attacking you. Personally, I'm really ready to be attacked. Kwa kusema hii. Morara communication yake is not a communication of a politician. It is a communication of kind of a dictator, and I change on that. When you post something, I have done this, I have done this. That is not a language. Alikuwa hapa nilikuwa nataka kumwambia the very same statement. The reason I'm saying this is because if I ask you guys right now, take your minds back exactly 3 years ago. I want to view Ruto 3 years back. Ulikuwa unakuja kwa Twitter unasema Ruto ni butcher. People will attack you because they believe Ruto is right. And Ruto is always right. And any person who tries to critique Ruto is wrong. If we cannot accept this conversation, kama mwezi kubali to critique Morara, then you guys you're not playing politics. Yenye munataka. The conversation will we formed Inject Party. But every time, let us support more. It's just Morara this. What if we go to 2027? Personally, I'm always a prophet of doom. Morara ende kwa ballot. Morara lose as a president. Because all of us assume everything is about Morara Kebaso. He loses. What happened next is another season of pain and agony to us. So Mimi, there's something I want to say here. Let us not make this about a person. Because they say once beaten, twice shy. We made it all about Ruto. Wakati alikuwa anapigana na Uhuru. You couldn't attack Ruto. He was a supreme leader. I quote that. What is happening right now? He's trying to be a supreme leader that we made him be. Like, any decision he makes, he feels that's the right decision. The same way, Kwambia Morara, everything, tell us to go this way, tell us to go this way. You guys, I'm telling you the truth. I'm a prophet of doom. I'm ready to be attacked. But I can tell you, we made that mistake with Ruto. 99% of people want to support Ruto. And you believe this guy is a savior. You believe he's a very different kind of a politician. But hatukukuwa na backup plan. We involve everyone. So Kenyataka kuambia, if you want this to be a good politics, if you want to have good leadership, let us accept to be critiqued. And stop telling people, don't critique this person. Because it's only through critiquing someone that you can know how someone behaves. Because I can tell you, it's too early to believe in someone. We are like 3 months old in this movement. 3 months is not enough to say to share Minimutu is a good person, everything. Apana, we are learning from each other. And the only thing I'll insist, if you guys, we formed a political party, our political party haina members, our political party inahitaji a lot of things to be done. Wanyama asked, what next? We are not working what next for Morara, but what next for us as a people. And the only thing that identified us as a people or as a group is that political party. So, anything unasema hapa, let it be about Inject political party. And that you will move forward vizuri. Kwa KOT, continue doing what you're doing. I remember there's a time, wakati kila mtu alikuwa ametoka kwa movement, we had a space here. Watu kidogo sana, and I told you, don't be like them. Never be like them. Na believe when mwanaume niko shonavanga hiyo ya Peaky Blinders, be like them. Be ready to
bana hiyo kofia nimesikia bana hiyo kofia nilichoma no I'm not going to sit here while you troll me hiyo kofia no hiyo kofia nilichoma honestly I banned that kofia bana.
What I was just trying to say is that usivae kofia Peaky Blinders hapa una kitu ni mall unalia. Just be KOT bwana. Unajua ukituonyesha ukitu mall you don't care about it, then we'll be focused. But ukitu mall you are discussing about someone being a mall for more than 48 hours.
MMSQ.
Yes.
MMSQ. Unaona issue mahali nilikuwa hata sikuwa na issue hapa bana. Wale watu mko TikTok. Honestly mtu alienda akatafuta namba yangu. Unajua my mama ako na roho rahisi sana. Oh mtu bana hata ukimwambia anything bad anaweza faint bana. That lady she's only 40. She's 43. Yeah, because she's born 1981. We have an age difference of 19 because I'm 24. So probably she's 43. Not even probably. She's 43. Born 1981. Huyo msichana. Huyo msichana amenisumbua honestly. My mom has been calling me every now and then. Hadi aniambia niende ziko pastor mgani, aniambie venye kama I can continue with the political journey. And I'm like, no mom, just relax. Honestly, to be honest, I can tell you this for a fact. And I was like, Mom, just relax because Mimi, I went to university, I did an engineering course, but I don't feel like I can practice my profession. The only thing I can do, let me venture into political journey. I want to bring change in this nation. Yeah. Hao ni wale watu walikuwa wanakunywa maziwa ya Moi huko nyuma, and so you understand ile fear wako nayo saizi. And so mi hapa kulialia hiyo, mimi niko nalialia because my mom was calling me every now and hata leo amenipigia by the way. Na I had to block her on WhatsApp. Not to block her, nikamhide on status, nikamblock kwa TikTok na nikamblock hapa X because ni mtu ana access social media every now and then. Unaweza enda Facebook unatafuta anaitwa Mabonga, umpata huko. You find out that anaona kila kitu, and so she's so much worried because anapigiwa simu. So today venye mimi ni advice akaenda kubadilisha line ya simu, akachange line kila kitu, akakuwa sawa. Mimi nikamwambia niaje mom, siku nitaenda kwa pastor niambia nitaenda niongee naye akini advice kama I can continue with the political journey, ita continue, but for now make a break. Just because uko nishajua nimefunga avenues zote huko, haizi pigiwa simu, haizi ni access on this platform, haizi ni access on TikTok, haizi ni access on my WhatsApp status, it's only Facebook. Na Facebook I rarely post there. So ile pressure nilikuwa naye hapa honestly, hata Josh hapa I called Josh and nikamwambia bro, it's really getting out of my hand, and if I don't speak about this, it's going to get out of my hands. My family are going to bear me from doing whatever I'm doing, and because I'm such a guy mwenye I believe in change, I don't think my family should be a barrier kwa kitu nafanya. And so I had to ensure that nifanye kila step every now, I mean one by one, to ensure that how wasee wa home hawezi access hizi platforms. Mimi tu niko huku hivi and I can continue doing what I'm doing because you guys venye tulianza hii space ya Sauti ya Mwananchi, we promised you that we are going to ensure that you get information, you get a platform to speak. When as much as watu wengine washachoka, we are not going to relent. And so imekuwa hivyo. So hey bana, hiyo mambo ya hiyo kofia, honestly mimi choma hiyo kofia because I saw what was ahead of me. Na immediately hiyo mambo ya mall venye ilikuwa inatokea, kama ningekuwa na hiyo kofia, of course mngekuwa mnanikombea na kina Kasmu na Raila being a mall and a sellout. Sikuwa nataka hivyo, but mimi I always believe that hata kukuwe na barrier na burden nyuma yako, and you believe in what you are doing, nobody can bring you down, and that's what I've been standing.
Aya, so wacha nimalize hii argument ya mall once and for all. Mimi nilikuwa amongst the people. Mimi actually I might have been one of the problems of hosting a space to call for the renunciation of that thing. Wase, fact, hizi vitu zita happen, tuna grow bana. Wase wenye wameingia politics bado wana grow. KOT hii ni fact, utapigwa mawe, familia itatishiwa, nini, all those kind of things, ita happen. Wase, it is part of growth. Now we know. Now amepigwa mawe, amejua, si ati namtetea. Mimi hata saa zingine pia, si ati tunapendananga sana na KOT. Lakini lazima tufanye hii kazi ya Sauti ya Mwananchi pamoja. As we grow in doing these things, as we grow in activism, as we grow in all these other things, we will know. Hata nyi wenyewe mmesema tu hapa, it's few months old. Would you expect perfection from it? But as we grow, pia tuna look for doing better than what our other people have done. Tutapigwa mawe, saa zingine tuta give up, tunarudi. Ni part of being human. Watu wengine bado hata pia bado unajua anyway, wacha tuachane nayo. But the fact is this, hii ni politics. Ndio maana tulisema watu wache kwa easy wa get into the field of politics. Kutapigwa mawe. KOT unahitaji maombi ya mama. Hata ukikimbia left right center, lazima tu ajue uko kwa politics. Lazima ajue unapigwa mawe, lazima ajue kijana yake anafanya something good for the country. Women are spiritual at the end of the day, and without her being in the know, unafanya dhambi. Mnaweza ni correct on that. Mimi ni believer of African spirituality nowadays, but moms have to know. Hiyo usijaribu ati sijui una block, sijui unafaa nini. Hizo ni shortcut. Wacha kuwa kama watu tunajaribu kutoa. Acha ajue saa zingine huko na ujinga, wananchi wanakupiga kwa sababu ya ujinga yako. Let her know. Hata yakuja akwambie uko na ufala, because if people can't access you, sometimes other colleagues and politicians will use your mom to talk to your mom, to talk to you. Siku moja utakuwa mtu mkubwa, huku tunatafuta change. Ukikuwa umemea pembe, your mom will come and speak to you. So she needs to be aware, she needs to be part of this. Mwache mchezo sijui ati block her, change her number, sijui nini. Intakana tufike mahali wakianza kutishia mama ya KOT, tunatafuta hao ni nani, tuende pia sisi tuangalie huko hao ni kina nani wanatishia mama ya KOT. Si story ati tujifiche tufanye nini. Hapana, hii ni politics vile imefika, na ikiendelea hivi tutafika mahali we've created babies, not in a bad way. We've created babies who are supposed to fight with this. Unajua wanasema, unaona the nature of a lion ikikuwa imetulia imanishi imeshiba, imetulia tu. But when it's time for hunting and time for war, a lion can be a lion. Na hapo ndo tunataka. Ikikuwa time of peace, the politicians we are coming up with are very good people who are creating change, creating development and all that. But ukiwachokoza, they need to be also measured up. Not in a bad way at sasa kukwenda war in the country. But you guys understand what I'm saying. But your story ya mall, naomba iishie hapo. Amejua. Watu wote wamejua. Na tunabidi tusonge mbele. Tusonge mbele tafadhali. Faruk, wacha tupee Faruk aongee. Faruk DM. Nani aku DM? Faruk.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead. 3 minutes. Sasa tunafanya 3 minutes. Ukijipata unajiongelesha, usitulaumu. Request ni mingi. Ukijipata tunajiongelesha, ishi na imani movement.
Okay, thanks Kayoti Wanyama, nothing K, speakers and listeners. Lakini Wanyama umesomea Kayoti sana. But anyways, okay. First nataka kuongea kuhusu, tumeongea sana kuhusu readers of integrity. Kuna kitu nilikuwa nafikiria about readers and the system. So I was thinking about mtu kama tunaweza kuwa na readers of integrity and you have a broken system. And I was thinking about kama system ni mbaya, the readers will be it will be easy readers to change easily. So from that nikuje kwa party to have a ticket for government, to own a government, as a movement we must have a party so that we can have a ticket to own a government. And I was thinking about the background of the good governance and the good system can start in a party. If we have a party that have guidelines how to fight like corruption, how to mentor leadership, how to run a government, I think before we cooperate with the government itself, we can start by our party. The party that values the humans, the party that protects the rights of the people. I think we can start there. For example, I was thinking about a party that have a constitution, because I believe most of us, we don't know much about party, because we have never interacted about the party constitution, memorandums, and all that, because we just register the party as a voter. We just register through portals, through website. So we don't have much to read about the party, most of the people. So we don't know much about the party. But I was thinking, if people can know about the party, to have a civic education, how the party is being led, and the officials of the party are being selected or are being voted or are being nominated. I was thinking people can know more about the party and can understand the party. That's where I was thinking the background of a good governance can start on the party constitution. If we have a good constitution that governs our party, that can protect any leader who come with a intention to do corruption or to do wrong business in the government, I think party can protect if we lay down the guidelines and the protection
Please
of
land.
the such readers. Sorry? Okay. As I read, I would like to say that we as human beings, we are being created to talk. So, as you can see, people are talking much about readers and the peoples, and we cannot keep quiet when we can see things are not right. Even if we love someone to lead us, we must talk about him or talk about her if we see he or she not leading us in the good direction. So whoever think that we as a movement will stop
Baruch,
talking about.
land, please.
Okay, we will not stop talking about them. I think that will be impossible. So let me land there.
Asante sana, ni vile sitaki kukuangusha na madharau vile nilisema. Anyway, Declan is next. Declan, can you hear me? So it's Declan, Joshua, alafu
I can hear you. Oh, sorry. Just say what you were saying.
I was just saying the roster. It's Declan. After Declan is Joshua and then Lynn. And please, 3 minutes exactly.
3 minutes. Nimesikia. In respect for Dennis and the team, I shall take 3 minutes, or I shall try to take 3 minutes. Thanks, guys. Nice to see us back together again. The whole team, the usual speakers. I think I've learned a bit in the past events that have gone on in the past week. And I'd like to come back again and speak on structure in the movement. We are at war, and something you can observe in every single army in the world, there are pillars, there's traits that are common in whichever army, whichever language they speak, whichever corner of the earth they're on. There's certain things that are in every army. People must be disciplined in the movement. Another thing that is important in any army is unity and loyalty. People must be unified and people must be loyal. People must have integrity. and people must have respect. Those are things that are inside every army. Zenya hazikosangi. And I think those are the things that we need to emulate inside this movement. Are you loyal to this movement? Do you respect, do the actions you take respect this movement and what we're trying to achieve? Do you have integrity in the things you do when you're not here talking on the space, or when nobody is looking? Are you carrying high levels of integrity in the movement? Are you pushing unity and loyalty in the movement? Because those are things that are important. That structure needs to be there. We can't lie to ourselves anymore that there can be disorganization. And it is very true. Our guy Morara is not perfect. And the reason why I'm bringing him up is because in the argument that's been around him in the past few days, the biggest issue I had with people going against him is because it seemed like he was bringing in some kind of structure. And I was fearful that if we lose him, we will lose that structure. But then I was also made to realize through the conversations that I had with people that it cannot be that he is the structure, and then if there's no him, there's no structure. Guys, we have to build a structure that works, a system that works for this movement. And it does not have to be an individual. I've been fighting people, and then I just realized, guys, I'm fighting people not because I'm scared of losing Morara. It is because I'm scared of losing the structure that I can see he has built or he's trying to build. It's not that structure is there. So as we go forward, let us have a structure that, one, gives us a direction. Two, it evaluates the work we are doing. Is what we are doing correct? If we have no structure, if we don't have a team, if we don't have people doing different things in the best way that they can, then we won't be able to identify the best direction we should be going. You guys were so lost as a movement right now, and the reason why we can't find our direction quick enough is because we don't have a structure where we can call a meeting, sit down and say, this is where we are going, and this is how we are going to go there. And that's why we always to have, when you have a structure, why respect comes in the structure and integrity and discipline is that if there is a structure and you have a role, you are loyal, you are unified, you respect, you are disciplined to that structure, and that structure is only there to serve the movement. Now I want you to look at a situation where when we are calling people out, instead of calling people out in a way that will help other out. So there's no team to say, hey, Nani was called out on this. Has he changed this? If he's not changed this, how is he going to change this? We don't have that team. We need to make it so that if the problem is identified, we have a team connecting. We have a team for actioning. We have to build that structure. And that's where the discipline and the things that I've talked about come in. You never see, I want to give an example. And najua nimeongea kidogo sana, but I want to give an example just before I go. You will never see a soldier.
Malizia, tafadhali.
Maliza wanyama, namaliza, I promise. You'll never see a soldier in an army running to the war room where the people who are planning the war, running to the war room and saying, hey. You'll never see that happening. The soldier knows that the job is to do what they've been instructed to do on the ground. The people in the war room know Their job is to give the best direction based on the intel they've collected. There are people to collect intel. There are people to put the plan together. There are people to action the plan. If we build that structure and we are disciplined and we are loyal and we are unified to that structure, we will move. But if we are not, then we'll just keep going round and round and round and round and we'll start losing. Asanteni sana. Wacha niachie hapo.
Asante sana Declan, na asante kuinject na kuleta nguvu kama hiyo, lakini itabidi nikushukishe. Joshua Okayo, twende kazi.
Wanyama, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am happy to be back on Spaces. It's been a while tangu nikwe kwa space. Thank you, Chaotic. Thank you, Wanyama and Nothing KE for hosting and co-hosting respectively. Wanyama ulisema we should move on from this mall thing, but I think it's important I mention something about it. Actually, history ya mall watu wana shout. I've even seen someone saying on TikTok at Imindio Mall. On Saturday, I'm the one who called team members and told them we have a mall. And that was before even that communication by Morara. And because not everyone could point out some of the things that are pointing to someone being a mole. And I had seen them, so I raised the issue. And we had a very urgent call. Nani, KOT, there's something you want to say? Okay. Sawa. Yeah, so I want to say I am the one who identified the mole, and the mole is not KOT. I think that is solved now. And if anyone wants to confirm, go and ask Morara. I have worked with KOT. I think we've done a bit of the launch tours, 3 or 2 of them now. I can't remember exactly. And I can say he's genuine. And now that he's here, you are genuine. But I hope you keep that to the very end and you keep true to the cause. I also want to recognize my friend and former classmate at University of Nairobi Law School who spoke before me, MM Esquire. If you look at your screen, it's MM Esquire, Mike Matanga. That was my classmate and my very good friend from way back from first year. I love how Mike and the real Joe spoke, and of course how Declan has also spoken, and even Farouk. I really wanted to hear what the real Joe had to say next, but sijui mbona alinyamazishwa, but I think I really wanted to hear what he had to add on to what he had already said, because he was speaking very serious matters. I know there are some of us who've come out that we want to probably be at the forefront or in a way lead the movement. But that does not give someone rights to be entitled or to feel like now everything is around them, or everything should be, the world should be rotating around, or rather revolving around them. I keep and I've kept talking about this. I've kept saying we have a movement that can only win if it remains a movement. Of course, we know everything is going to be turned into political structure, political party. And I've seen Declan talk about your structure so much. He so much desires a structure that he fears that should we lose someone who has made effort in bringing a structure, then we shall be losing that structure. I can tell you for a fact, Declan, even if right now I went down, or if Morara went down, or KOT went down, or Wanyama went down, we are going to have structure, because I have been able to have conversations with so many people in these spaces. By the way, Wanyama was to call you. I will call you. I think I'll call you tomorrow. My week has been quite busy. But I can tell you I've had conversations with these people. These people have very great plans for the movement. Just that sometimes everyone takes their time to start something, or people's timings are very different. So if I decided that I'm starting, say, tomorrow to do a certain program or project that I've so much, longed to do, that doesn't mean that now that is the only thing to be done. Maybe Wanyama had another program, or maybe Declan had another program that they are supposed to start, say, on Monday or in another 1 month. That is also going to add onto the movement. So I want to say that it's important. It's very, very important that we celebrate people who are trying to make effort in keeping the movement alive and in bringing people together to strengthen the movement. But we should also be very keen to notice certain things that would probably lead to the death or the fall of a movement. So, number one, I would advise that let us not make this feel like we are making the movement to be around one person or a certain people. Let everyone contribute what they can to the movement. And I continue saying this even in our meetings, that let not this look like it's about a person. Let this be a movement. It is way better as a movement. It is way better as a team. And we can easily win that way than when we are looking at one person to be able to make decisions or to be able to make to decide for us to now follow through. I know at the very end we must have a leader. We will. And again, maybe we already have leaders, but let us not make this look like we have only one particular person that should make certain decision before all of us now start doing the same. Another thing, I cannot be in every space. KOT, Kenyan Voice, Musioka cannot be in every space, and they cannot do everything. Morara cannot do everything and anything. If you see that someone is focusing on one thing and there is another sector of civic education that is missing, please pick it up. Do the much you can. Do the much you can. I can tell you, if all of us were to come together, and because one thing I realized is that we have very, 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 very many talents that we might lose in effort because we want people to be together. If we all are together, it means tukienda mahali pamoja, we shall be visiting that one place, all of us. And if it is a speech to be delivered, all of us will be speaking about almost the same thing at the same place. But if we had 10 different people in this group going to 10 different places with 10 different groups, they would deliver 10 different ideas to 10 different groups of people or 10 different regions in Kenya. And they would probably, if it's about visiting projects or uncompleted projects or stalled projects, they will visit 10 different projects. You can imagine what I'm talking about. Basically, what I'm saying, so what I'm saying is this. Let everyone do the much they can in whichever space they are in. But even as that is being done, let us form structures. And I can tell you, we are working on structures. And anyone who wants to be part of developing of such structures, you are very, very much welcome. Just that I know people have been shouting along, X, these spaces of X and all, and saying, you guys need to work together. Can you call so and so? Let me tell you, calling them can just do so much. It is upon someone has a conviction that they really want to deliver through that which you're doing, or through that channel, or through that structure, that you can convince them to work within that structure. Otherwise, you trying to look for people, some of them will tell you, mbona unanitafuta, ama watu wengine watajiona sukari. You understand? I know there are people whom we've tried to reach out to. Na wanajiona sukari, they're like, kumbe I'm that important. You understand? As in human nature. At the same time, unapata reach out in very very, very, very like clean heart, just in high spirits. Oh yeah, come, we do this because I can see you are doing very great in this sector. Can you come? We see how we can marry this together to do something together. But then mtu atakupeleka round and round and round. So some of these things we don't hatuzi expose that we have invited some people. But if we were to expose, or if I were to expose the people that I've probably reached out to, you'd be surprised. Kumbe, it's not that we don't want to work with other people. It's just that, look, kuna watu bado hawako ready ku fit into a structure. Finally, I know nilipewa 3 minutes. Finally, we have a lot to do. And we don't have time for banters and sideshows. We have a lot to do. We don't have time for banters and sideshows. If you feel someone is not doing something right or in the best way as you could, let them know. Advise, just advise. But you should not be so entitled that someone must do something the way you want it to be done. Because again, we are different. So I believe we must go back to the streets. I know that's crazy, but yes, we must go back to the streets. Because we have, bana tuko na vitu zinafanyika, mimi leo nimekasirika sana. Actually, I was recording some video, but nikaitwa to do something else that I didn't complete. But yes, nimekasirika sana that Ketrako now has signed a deal with Adani. That means basically Wandai and Ruto are trying to tell us that we cannot maintain our own energy sector or electricity sector. Very soon utasikia pia ile kesi ya JKIA imeisha na Adani inaenda. I mean JKIA inaenda. Utasikia hata Mombasa Port of Mombasa inaenda. And you are here wondering what is happening. These things are happening because we are busy fighting each other. We are busy discussing Gachagua impeachment, which does not even concern us. That is a political game those guys are playing. It doesn't concern us in any way. Let them fight. Let them do their things. But let us not get so much into the agenda that we forget that there is a bigger war we should be fighting. And the bigger war is to protect our industries, to protect our to protect our country, basically, and to protect our people. We have a bigger war to fight. And all of us should be part of that war. All of us should, in one way or another, contribute to that war. It doesn't matter. If you can't be on the ground, by the Mimi, I don't blame you. If you can come to contribute on X, because hapa kwa X ama kwa TikTok, sometimes we get ideas that we are going to use on the ground for those of us who are able to get to the ground. Not everyone can get to the ground, but there comes a time that at least we will, sacrifice 1 or 2 days in a week to get to the ground. We must go back to the streets. And I would encourage wale watu wanatengenezanga posters and all, let us start coalescing and let us start, agitating for something in that line. I believe ile pressure tuliweka watu in June, if we continue with that pressure, hatutaona hizi ujinga ndogo zenye tunaona saa hizi. Things are just happening before your eyes. It's like someone is telling you, bana mimi ni president, utadu. What will you do? There's nothing you can do. I don't want us to be helpless citizens. We can't be helpless. And it pains so much when it feels like you are helpless. It pains so much. Guys, thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you for always turning up to these spaces to contribute to conversations that are growing Kenya. God bless you. Wanyama.
Joshua Okayo, thank you very much. I like the issues you have highlighted. They are very profound, and I salute you for everything you've been through and keeping it 100. Sorry for the times you've been trolled, but don't worry, we will overcome. I hope you're getting better, and just so you know, we are praying for you. Now, on the issue of structures, I've been singing because I've realized what we've been doing over and over again is rant, and somebody told me I have to give room for ranting. However, we need to get into platforms where we address issues like Adani, agriculture, education, funding model, healthcare, because a lot of stuff is falling through the cracks because when we come together, we have we address different issues. So you find someone raising brilliant ideas, but then they are forgotten as soon as they're done speaking, simply because the space is addressing literally everything. So we need civic education. We need, and for civic education, I was requesting people to do door-to-door civic education so that the word can get out and go further. We were considering if you guys can allow people with great voices to record at the studio, if your studio is ready, voiceovers addressing the same issue about agriculture, livestock, funding model, all that. That way it will send the message further. So we have people going to market days with Bluetooth speaker, and we can raise funds to support them for the time they are out there. That way we will have more people getting involved and committed. Thank you, Joshua, for your time. And allow me to introduce you to a firebrand. Her name is Lynn. I listened to Lynn during a Mount Kenya space we held, and Lynn needs to be empowered and needs to be on the road. She's, hear her for yourself. Lynn, please.
Thank you very much, Saseni. I hope you guys you're good. Me, I'm not gonna talk English because my English is not with me right now. It's sleeping, and I'm the one here. So me, I want to talk about one thing. We have talked of lots of stuffs, vitu mingi tumeongelelea na they are valid, but I want us to understand something. It's not everyone in this country who wants, everybody in the country wants the best for Kenya. Lakini watu wengi wako njaa. So mtu atalipwa 500 asahau akona mtu wa dialysis na shisha haimsaidii. Unaget? So tunafaa to understand. Kama saizi tuwezi sema ati hatuna leaders, we have great voice wenye wako hapo juu. Nyinyi wenye mko hapo juu mnafaa mjue kama KOT actually, your mother is age mate to my mom and I'm your age mate, so I can talk to you directly. Usinitie roya. So like KOT, I think the problem is tunafail ku understand watu wenye tuko against ni watu wanataka kutu bring down. So, wakati mtu amekuja amesema Lynn ni gangster, haiwezi make sense na haita make sense. Lakini time yenye mimi Lynn nitafungua space nianze kuprove, oh mimi hata sijai guza bunduki, sijai fanya, so ita create attention. Na vitu zenye nitakuwa na explain kwa hiyo space zitafanya watu waone vitu zingine kama ni red flag. Wakenya tumedanganywa, tumepromisiwa, tumeheartbreakiwa, we are so broken that red is no longer our favorite color. So, KOT ukiambiwa we ni mall, bora wewe ujisheki hivi usikie we si mall, fungua space, let us talk of shisha, let us talk of nishisha, sijui hadi shisha, shishi, whatever, let us talk of other things. Usikuje kuongea vitu zenye au watu they want us to focus on. Kwa sababu, like, ukifanya hesabu zako utaona, the government is using us to divert our movement. Wanatutumia sisi. Lakini juna sisi tunataka kuprove ourselves so much, tunapotea huko katikati. Saizi hizo siku zenye tulikuwa tunaongelelea stories za venye sisi si mall, wengine ni mall, like, vitu hata viezi tusaidia, cause hata huyo mall ametumwa na gava. Like everything ni government inaleta distraction. Lakini sisi tukifungua that door, hapo ndo tuna lose movement na watu wanakuwa disappointed. Mwirara saizi akona emotions, like amekuwa tu hivyo, like because tumeopen your space. So mimi niambie KOT juu anataka kukua MP. Kukua leader wa Wakenya especially, unafaa ujue, me tell you for free, Wakenya 98% tunakuanga wenda wazimu, me included. Tunakuanga seasonal. Kuna time tu utafanya kitu tutafeel so disappointed, kuna time utafanya kitu we will encourage you and support you. KOT saizi kuna mtu anakuita mall, lakini ukiweza sema ukieka pay bill, we still come there to do the pay bill. Those are Kenyans. Understand the people you want to lead before you lead them. Sababu ukikuwa MP utakutana na watu different. Utakutana na watu wakuite chura, wengine wakuite paka, and then you won't open a space and try to tell us, me between chura na paka, mimi si hizo. Aita make sense. So I think tunafaa to understand government iko na tactics zake za ku bring us down, na uwezi jua blogger wa gava ni nani. Atakuja tu hapa aseme why is KOT not showing us mall ni nani, expose huyo mall, alafu sisi wengine tuone. Na by the way, kama yes si mall, si aseme ni mall, si aseme mall ni nani. So wanatutumia ku divert movement yetu. So guys, nyi wenye mko hapo, nyinyi wenye mko na vocal voice, wenye tunakujanga ku look upon you, guys, be wise. Mjue ukiitwa mwizi usikuje kutuambia we si mwizi. Bora wewe unajua si mwizi, we good to go. But hiyo ya kutext mamako, huyo ni mtadi, unafaa utupe namba tumsalimie, kwa sababu that is very wrong. Mamako ajai kuwa MP, like it's very wrong kutesa mzazi wa watu. But again, you have to be strong enough even for your relatives. You have to be strong. Like Morara amekuwa so strong. And to add on what Joshua have said nikimalizia, let us focus on the movement. Isikue it's about Morara, it's about KOT, even in our speeches. Isikue it's about Morara or it's about KOT. Reason being, si ati tuwezi taka Morara akue leader ama akue president. Mimi hata naweza mfanyia campaign, I have a good voice ya kupayuka. But it's not even for the movement, it's for their protection. Guys, kama mmesahau, like 17 days or 18 mlikuwa mmepangiwa accident ya gari, labda mmesahau, mlikuwa mmeplaniwa accident. So mkwetu isikue ati ni a person, jugava itatarget that person, bring down, ndo waweze kutuletea discussions za miezi 3, tukue sasa tunaishi in the Republic of Andani. Mna get? So nyinyi wenye mko hapo, nyinyi wenye ni vichwa, because we are next, you have to be strong. Mkwe roho ngumu, kwa sababu mkikuja huku kuji-explain, mara mna tweet mavitu 60, you're giving Cinderella na to princess twenye atueleweki. We want you guys to be hard, because you're dealing with people who don't even respect humanity. People who killing people is like slaughtering chicken, so you have to be hard. Historia kukua Cinderella, please muache kabisa. So we trust you guys, na no maana we are with you. We really trust you. So mwache kuzi-explain. Hata mimi KOT nikisema wewe ni mwizi, don't come kwambia watu mimi si mwizi. It's okay. Wewe bora unajua si mwizi, focus. Mimi nitaanza ku regret and I will follow you. Like unajua tumepigana several times, but I'm always on your spaces. Kwa sababu lazima tupigane, but Kenya has to be rescued by me and you, all of us together. Na msisahau Wakenya wako njaa. So msikue disappointed juu kuna watu wana accept kulipwa walete vurugu. Wakenya wako njaa and they are desperate. They are so desperate, heartbroken, wengine hadi they are committing suicide. So the country is sick. Mtu understand venye tuko. But hiyo story ya kuji-explain tena. Kwanza KOT unapenda kuji-explain sana. Usiku unaji-explain. Unafaa kukuwa mtu mgumu. Si ati ukiambiwa hivi unakuja kuji-explain. Next time ukiji-explain tutaonana. Usiku unaji-explain. We jua wewe ni nani and move forth. Move forth. You know what you want for the country. Ukiji-explain hiyo ndo time gava inaona kwenye weaknesses zako. Probably hadi mtu ana text mamako ni mtu wa government, lakini jua aliona unaji-explain akaona weakest point yako, so akajua akiguza mamako, kwa kila mtu anapenda mamake, akiguza mamako utakuwa traumatized. Quit. So mkiitwa mall mnaenda break kufanya nini? Mnafaa mnaendelea. Tunapanga hadi tunakutana wapi siku ya mashujaa, tukumbuke mashujaa zetu. So historia ya kupigwa vita 2-3 kuitwa mall mnaenda break. Mnaenda break kufanya nini? You're giving princess. Na sisi tunawaaminia. Mjue venye nyinyi mko na believe kuna place mnataka Kenya ifike. Pia sisi kuna viongozi wenye we are seeing on you. And that is why KOT at your place still in ako. Kwa sababu there is something we are seeing in you. Na ukitu disappoint, we ain't gonna come like angels. Sisi ni wa Kenya, most of us tumekuwa na depression, tumepitia mengi, so mtatupokea hivyo kwa sababu that is what we are. So nikimalizia, kuji-explain muache. And again, kama mnaenda place private, muache kutangaza. Do we also want you guys mkiwa uhai? Msidhani tunataka kuwazika. We want you alive and very safe. So if it secret, mujieke siri zenu, msikue open to everything. Mkifanya hivi mnaambia the whole nation. Watu wengine wako hapa ni NIS, hata Ruto maybe probably ako hapa anajiita kamande or something. You never know, maybe he's here. Lakini nyinyi mnaji-explain to everything, mnaji-open voix. That is very wrong. Mkue na siri zenu nyinyi kama komiti ya ndani, na kuji-explain hiyo nayo ni abadan katan. Msiji-explain tena, mna give Cinderella na tunawatrust, mkue hardcore. Na nawapenda sana and I want you guys to be very safe, very safe. Very, very safe. So take care of yourselves, guys. Asanteni.
Thank you very much, Lynn. I'll give you 2 minutes to tell them about your bid in Kiambu County. Just 2 minutes. Lynn, can you hear me? Wanyama, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Lynn.
Wanyama is sleeping, maybe.
Okay, tell them about your bid.
Okay, me I want to be an MP. Hiyo 2027 ikifika after Ruto ameenda, cause actually 2027 is not guaranteed. Tutakuwa in the Republic of Andani. We'll be somewhere maybe cooking chapatis tukikanda na makwapa, and we are not ready for that. So Ruto akishuka, I want to be an MP. Ndo sasa the other MPs we can take them out, right? But hiyo time ikifika, that's when we're gonna do that. Saizi na by the way KOT nitakufanyia campaign. Vita nimekupiga lazima nitakufanyia campaign. Yeah, nitakufanyia campaign. Zako lazima utakuwa kwa hiyo kiti. But guys, kuji-explain nayo tuache. Hata mi wasiji-explain. Like you don't have to explain yourself. So mi nimesema tu nitakuwa MP hiyo time ikifika after Ruto ameshuka. And guys, nikimalizia, najua sitaki kuongea about that because it's not important saa hizi. Kama kitu important ni Ruto ashuke. There are people who need to get married. People are dying for dialysis. Watu wanakosa dialysis wanakufa. Some people want to get married lakini wawezi kuwa married. Juu hata wewe huwezi olewa na kijana na kazi na amesoma. Because you will never eat English by the end of the day. You will never eat your PhD by the end of the day. So Ruto has to go. And after Ruto goes, we are going to claim our country. We're going to take those positions and we are going to heal this nation as right as it is. And if you're there, you have the potential. Na usikuwe mtu wa kuji-explain. Kuji-explain nayo ni kitu inanikasirisha. Tuchore kuji-explain. Kuji-explain, quit. Don't explain yourself. If I call you a monkey, you say it's okay. And the end of it.
Thank you, Lynn. Sindano, you've been here forever. Then after Sindano, we'll have Liz.
Hi guys. I don't have much to say. Ningetaka tu ku-echo whatever Josh has said around we're wasting time. Nika sisi ni wale MPs. There are like so many important issues tunafaa address, mainly around Adani and him winning these contracts, clearly not in the legal way. Like everything is happening in front of our eyes. Sidi Adil Khawaja and Jayes Saini, these guys are taking over. Na sisi tumekaa tu hapa tunafikiria ati structure. While these things are happening actively sahi, hatufai kuwa tunafikiria ati these structures tuangalie vile tuta undo all these things that have been done. This is taxpayers' money. Pesa yote yenye sisi tunatoa hapa, what we spend, inatumika to give some Indians who have done some kind of shady deals with the government inapatiwa wao, when we should be doing, we should be like having services, high quality services for 104 billion. Watu wamekufa. And we are here talking about structure and all these other things that kitambo tufikie huko itakuwa hawa jamaa wameshatucheza mbali. So that's all I wanted to say. Echo Josh, what Josh said, we need to find a solution to whatever is going on and not just sit back and fight and discuss irrelevant things.
Thanks.
As Sindano, thank you very much. We're going to have Mosioka. Oh, Liz, it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Liz.
Hi everyone. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak. Wait. Sorry, sorry about that. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk. I really appreciate. We are right behind you. We are praying for you. I'm in diaspora right now, and man, Ruto must go. This guy has to go, and everything that he stands for, he has to go. So I would say that we are starting. This is a start, and it's only been 3 months. And I would say, like, let's say, unajua, like, okay, I'll mix it with Swahili. I'll mix it with Swahili. Hata polisi wakienda Kiganje kwenda kufanya training, sometimes you fall down. You'll even fall down on your face, literally. But you know what? You get up, wipe yourself, and keep going and going. And sometimes we disagree to agree. So I know, sometimes we will disagree, and sometimes we will be like, because we are human beings, and sometimes even brothers and sisters, they disagree, but we disagree to agree. But let's not use that. Let the enemy not use that as an opportunity to let's say, like, attack us, for us to be distracted, if that makes sense. Okay, and then I also feel like I personally, I'm far away, but I feel that, I don't know, like, I don't know if it's a PTSD kind of thing. I think we need, if you're here and you're like, what do you call, a psychologist or something, I think we need that, because I kind of see, like, so much PTSD, and also, like, not trusting. We are supposed to trust the process. Okay, we are supposed. Okay, I know there is that sense of not, like, being positive. Sometimes when you have PTSD, you don't trust, and you also kind of like, I have to run away from here. There is that aspect of not trusting. We are supposed to trust the process. You see a loophole, and it's a good thing that we spoke about the KOT and blah 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 about what do you call the mall. We talk about the mall in the group, so that the enemy won't use that to take advantage. So we need that, and also whatever you're capable of doing. Let's say you are a good writer. Let's write like a novel, because we need a lot of civil education, even to the people that wako huko mashinani. They need a lot of civil education, especially. So if it comes to, kama unajua kuandika, kuvolunteer, uandike a novel. Okay, the achievement of Ruto. Page 1. Okay, first of all, his policies, which ametimiza ndio, because we are preparing for 2027, and he has to be out. He has to be out. He has to be out. Okay, and then as someone mentioned before, right? Like they should have, like, what do you call? They should have like somewhere, like pesa zinaweza recur, like tunachanga pesa zina recur every month to support our leader. Honestly speaking, there's someone who said that okay, it should be leaderless, and I understand them because of the aspect of security, because so that this crazy rotten government doesn't come after them. But remember this: if you don't have a leader, like if you don't show them that you have a leader, that means you don't have a structure. Does that make sense? So like last time, they were using that against us. They were using leaderless, faceless, blah blah blah. Even someone said, "Oh, this is an Amweba movement." Okay, right now we have a leader. We are all leaders in that aspect. We are all leaders, but we are not going to allow them to use that aspect of, oh, we are leaderless, so that what to attack. So that's it for now. I really appreciate. We are right behind you. I don't know what else I wanted to say, nikasahau, but yeah, Ruto must go. Ruto must go, and everything that he stands for. And this mtu andike kama novel ina explain, zile tulikuwa walikuwa naandika like novel, kamtu kanasema nitafanya nitatenga, then huyu mwingine hakutimiza. Hizo zote zikuwe prepared for 2027. We are preparing for 2027. I love you all. God bless you and have a good night. Bye.
I can see Kenyan lady. No, not Kenyan lady. Nimekuzoea vibaya. Kenyan voices. Your hand is up. Nafikiri we need to end the space in the next few minutes. Kindly.
So habari zenyu KOT, habari nothing KE na wanyama. Thank you so much guys for kunipatia nafasi niongee. So kuna vitu mob wamesema hapa. So let me start with this analogy. I think in my sema before, when you watch National Geographic ama when you enda Masai Mara, wakati wildebeests na migrate, they go and on this, so if they're on the Masai Mara side, they need to cross the river to Serengeti. Na zinakwanga mob, tens of thousands, probably more. Zinaendanga zinakakaa hii side. Nijua Masai nini, kwa hiyo River Mara kuna crocodiles, very many crocodiles. Crocodiles pia ziko hapo ndani. They know chakula inakuja. And for these wild beasts to cross, they also know that they have to go through the Mara. There's no other way. So zinakujanga zina graze hapo for some time, and then zinapiga hesabu. And then kuna zenye tu after some times kuna zenye zinajitokeza. Some males will jump into the water. Kuna zenye so zinaanzanga na kalaini kamoja. Kuna zenye zinaingia hapo, zingine zita survive, zingine zitakuliwa. And then all of a sudden zote sasa zinaingia. So this is what we are facing, guys. So sisi wa Kenya, sisi ndio wild beasts. Majamaa, this rotten system ndio crocodiles. So we need some leaders to be able to cross. Now, the leaders are birthed by the movement. See, leaders, it's not the leaders that will birth the movement. And then, once some of these leaders, God forbid, if something happens to them, kuna wenye watanunuliwa, kuna wenye they'll abandon the movement, kuna wenye, God forbid, their lives will be taken away. But eventually the people will cross the Mara na wataingia Serengeti. It's inevitable. So this movement has to be about us, the wildebeests, knowing that we have to cross onto the other side. And kuna watu watakuja, but for us, our duty is just to know the direction that we need to go. So we need to have values. We need to have a value system. We need to have bare minimums. We need to, ndio wale watu wenye wanatuwakilisha. For now it's Morara, right? For now it's him. Yeye ndio amejitokeza. So we go with him, but akiamua kutuacha bado sisi tunajua tutavuka hiyo mtu na tutaenda. So like that's the mindset that we need to have. Lazima tuelewe kwamba leo ni KOT, kesho na saa zingine it's a relay, right? Kuna wenye wataanza na they'll give up somewhere along the way, but this thing has to continue. We have to liberate ourselves. So right now, it's Morara na venye wase wamesema hapa, this thing has to be about ideas. Morara is human, na kama umemsikiza all along amekuwa akisema he's not perfect, and now we have seen it. We've actually seen that the man is not perfect. And part of this thing is that you guys are very young. Kina KOT, kina Morara, these people, you guys are young. Nimesikia ukisema mother yako KOT yako 43, me I'm 41, so maybe I'm old enough to be a dad. But So and the youth, the advantage.
Acha tabia mbaya bana. Just focus on the topic bana.
The advantage of youth is that some of you guys are bold, and you're ready to plunge yourselves into some of these things, while when you wazee are afraid, they are stuck in their ways. And while this can be an advantage, being young, it also means that that's where you make mistakes. Na unaona saa zingine mnaanza kupost vitu hamjafikiria, kitu inakuingilia tu kwa in your mind, ama umesoma comment uko X, and then in 2 minutes umerespond. I've seen that with Morara. I've seen that with so many people. And I think those of you guys here at Joshua uko hapa, please advise Morara that we're not trying to tell him to change, but he needs to think before he makes some of these posts. Marinade kidogo yake kwa akili akaya, sit over it for a few minutes, a few hours, and then he posts. That way he doesn't have to regret. And we are all hopeful, and there's something in this man. I know that we need, even as we build structures, we move from somebody said we need to move from mobilizing, which is what Mr. Morara and others like Kenya mmekuwa mkifanya, to organizing. We need to organize. Lazima tujipange. So even as we do that, to make this thing a people-based movement, people-driven rather than individual-driven, we must appreciate that they have, lazima hii kitu na kichwa. Na kwa sahizi mtu mwenye amejitokeza ni nani? Morara. And that's why we are advising him. Those of us when sisi, we are on the sidelines doing other things, we are just advising. And we have hope in this man. Kuna vitu tumuona kwake. Unajua kuna watu wanakuanga ndio mtu akue president, you have to have some delusion of grander sort of. Mtu lazima imagine vitu zenye watu wengine normal people cannot imagine. And this man, I think he has that thing in him. Anaweza simama mbele ya watu, anaweza simama juu ya gari. He has the charisma, he has the charm, and that's why we are hopeful in him. But again, it must not be about him. It must be about the party, so that if he falls on the wayside, other people are there and we move on. So I think that's all I have to say, guys. Keep up the fight. And then one last thing, watu wenye inject party saizi ndani kina Joshua, please, if you can separate the announcements za party, separate those from announcements za Morara. Like, can we separate the party from Morara? Right now I know he's the guy who's Apple Jew, but I think we can have this in such a way that the party can be making announcements, formal announcements, and Morara can be doing his thing on the side, as other people like KOT pia wenye wamejoin party, and others, those of us wenye wengine wataingia hapo to run. And I think that's all I have to say for now. Asanteni sana.
Hey guys, I don't know how I ended up co-hosting, but I'm here. I agree with a lot of what people are saying, but I don't know where Nothing if she's still here. But I sort of wanted to piggyback on what she's saying. So I have a proposition, and this is just to see if we're all in agreement that we need to sort of split tasks so we're not too spread out and we're missing things that are happening. So in the process of, listening to the spaces, I've identified people who are really good at articulating certain things and they're very passionate. So I'm just going to mention the issues we're having and a few names that I feel like if you guys can dedicate your focus on this, and then if KOT is okay with this, he can host a space weekly where we have you guys come on board and we update each other. So if you guys are in agreement, I feel like as much as we're speaking about structure, I think it's time to start enacting some things. So I would say, for instance, on this Adani issue, there's two folks here that I've noticed that did a really good job initially at the very beginning. So with Adani, is it okay, Wanyama and Real Joe, if you guys can just sort of focus your energy to that? Just let me know in the DM, because you already know so much. You're very conversant, and you're the guys that sort of even inspired people like me to even read the deal. So if you want to take on that responsibility, We know there's some lawsuits going on, some petitions, so you can just be fully focusing on that while we focus on other things. IEBC, I don't know if data scientist is here or he left. Data scientist and Daniel Quino. I don't know if they're here, but if they're here, if they're willing to sort of partake on that responsibility, we would really appreciate it. The other issue of agriculture, nothing KE, you're very passionate about agriculture. And then if you can reach out to Mwangi Wanyanya, you too, if you're okay, it's up to you guys. This is just a request, so you're allowed to say no or yes. In the issue of bills going on in Parliament, personally, I think if we can sort of have the assistance of the lawyers on board, so MMESQ, if you're okay, trying to sort of be our eyes on these bills that are going on and helping us interpret them and reading them and be the one who is always alarming us, hey, there's this bill. Because like for me, I don't even know which website I need to go on to see these bills that are being proposed. So MMESQ and Western, if Western is here, Western I've noticed is very, very astute on certain things. So if you two are willing to help us on that end, let me know. If not, just let me know too. When it comes to the movement and structure, we have been discussing this. So Declan, are you willing to take up on that? Declan and maybe Lynn, both of you, can you be the drivers of this? Help us create structures. You guys come up with ideas and some solid ways that you think that we should do this. What police brutality, abduction, and massacres? KOT, are you willing to be like, which I believe you're already doing? KOT, can you please let me know if you're okay taking up that task like 100% and you'll be the voice on this and letting us know. When it comes to things like corruption, I know Morara team is already doing that, so we can help them with that, but I know they're already focusing on that. IDs. We need somebody who can do IDs. I had assigned this to Data Activist and Kim001. So let me know in the DM if you're willing to sort of be the face of this right now at the moment while we try to just delegate tasks. For the guidance and support, this is a very humble request for Miss Rosemary and Miss Redempta. If you're willing to be like our pillar of support and guidance, and just let me know if you're willing to take up on that. But I'll just give you guys a few minutes to think about this, and feel free to just reach out to me. Let me know what you think. There's other key people that I know who are very good at certain things. Like I know Ayo and SK Owino, they're very good. He's very good at the Constitution. So let me know what you think as we proceed. So go ahead, Wanyama. Wanyama, are you there? I don't think so.
I think Mweru, I think Wanyama is not there. I want to hear from Jojo. It's been a minute, Jojo. Hebu tupigie show hapa alafu tumalizie na ile.
How y'all doing, my people? It's been a minute.
Yeah, Jojo, just proceed. It's been a minute, man. How is LA?
LA is all right. But I've been traveling. I've been in one or two states, but I'm still keeping up with what's going on. Kenya is like almost like a drama. You miss one day and then you come tomorrow, there's going to be so much that has happened. But at the same time, thank you, because you have kept the injection going on. It's a good thing. But at the same time, we have to look at the other side of the coin too. That anything good, it cannot be planned in public. It has to be secretive. Maybe we have to use a different form of platform to organize and or even store anything. If it's for public, I know we are the public stages to implement the idea. But before it's too late, it need to be very secretive. Otherwise, you see this politics. It's interesting where Kenya, it's a style of, today is Ruto against Laila. Tomorrow, Is Laila together against this other one? Who knows if tomorrow Laila decides he don't want to do anything with Ruto? You see, these are the games. These are the politics. We are, we are targeting, and we have to be safe. We have to be really safe. There are many ways of communicating an idea and doing an action other than one way of you not being in the safe hands. And we have technology. We have always talked about it. The committee we are appointing, why don't we make a move on supporting a communication tool? We cannot continue using a communication tool that is controlled by someone else and think that the movement, which is life and which is the most beautiful thing that ever happened to Kenya. And we have said it's not even about Ruto. It's about each and every one of us. And we are not atutoi gia ata moja. KOT, man, I know you have gone through hell being in Kenya. I have followed. This other issue of Molala. Hey, my people, we cannot make this about Molala. You would have failed big time. Because the movement now, you say, the movement has always been about not choosing leaders. Yes, we came to a point and we chose leaders. But when we make it about Molala, now we have, tarnished everything that the movement was for. And now you can be so stopped so easy. Look, there are a lot of things that, I've done some politics and I'm also from the streets. There are a lot of things that also Molana, the way he's doing them, I can tell will not go anywhere. They say, don't dig a hole too deep in your neighbor, in your neighbor's farm. Another thing, don't start a war. Don't start looking for a black sheep. And I heard this in Kenya bloggers. They are very smart. Don't start looking for a black sheep at night. So my people, as we approach this, remember, the people on the other side, they are also your brothers and sisters. One, you cannot dig a hole too deep next to your neighbor because tomorrow, muko pamoja na yeye. But, I'm so happy. We got something. We got a movement that now we feel it's not just about beauty. You can see Kenya changed after Gen Z. It's not just about being beautiful, even for the women. We have a cause of holding things accountable. I see another beauty in women nowadays. I don't just see them for the bad. I see another beauty, someone fighting for their rights. And it's something that is not gonna stop. Sio easy kitu in a stop. No, it's a movement that is here to stay. And it's not about Ruto. It's not about Gachagua. It's not about Molana. My people, stay strong and keep fighting. I love you all. Peace.
Thank you so much. Here we hear from the other guy. MMESQ, thank you so much for confirming that you're willing to take on helping us on the bills and paying attention to the bills in Parliament. The other guy.
Hello. So, good. I guess it's a good night, guys. And firstly, I feel really good that there are especially ladies at this time of the night actively involved in the issues of this country. It's really comforting. It means we are headed in the right direction as a whole. And there are also around 200 people at this time of night locked in this space. This means this is no joke. Whatever we are doing is no joke. It could be small. It could start small. but I think it's a good place to be right now. So personally, the reason I'm awake at this time of the night is because I'm really invested in what's happening in the country. I really want to see Kenya change. I've participated my part, I've done my part. So a very bold bold submission I want to make is heading to 2027, because mnasema sifa, heading to 2027, I think it's time we take a 360-degree change of where we are headed right now. It's not time to guess. It's not time to bet on a 50-50 chances. It's time to make one decision that will see Kenya change, that will see Kenya change as a country, that will eradicate especially corruption in this country and poverty as we know it. Where we are currently, it's hard to see the future, honestly speaking. The future is so blurry. You graduate, there are no jobs. You have to have connections. It's really hard. You send your CVs to hundreds of companies. You've done well, you've done your part, but then the corruption in this country is eating away at everything. So it's not a time to bet on 50-50 chances. Ni sure bet sasa tukienda 2027. You see mbali. Now, most people have thrown the name of Morara around, and I would also like to participate, not for the masses, but not for the peer pressure of it, but because it's also something that has been in my mind for a while, and for a while now. Before the Gen Z issue of June, I never personally knew Morara. And going into 2027, he should be answerable to everything, because I'm not willing
Do you have
personally
anything?
to put, yeah, to put everything in on a person I've known for like 3 months, and you cannot tackle accountability or lack of it by saying yourself you want to be accountable. So KOT, talk to your boy. You see, talk to your boy. He has to be accountable for everything. Huwezi sema utakuwa accountable, and that's the one thing you are fighting against. You are fighting for people to be accountable for whatever, for the resources. He should be accountable. He should be answerable to everybody, even when hawajatuma, because he has presented himself as a leader. He
The
is
other guy,
somebody's leader.
please.
Yeah, I'm finishing. So, okay, the last statement, KOT, talk to your boy. Lazima akuwe accountable, lazima ajibu hizi maswali, lazima ataulizwa hizi maswali na lazima akuwe ready kuzijibu venye zinakaa mtu. Sawa.
Bro, excuse me, whoever is speaking, Okay, you guys truly are speaking, Principal, huh? Bro, can you please clarify? Ukisema KOT, talk to your boy. Who's that boy?
Please wait on your time. It's not your time to talk, so please wait. Let him
It's
say.
Morara. It's Morara I'm talking about. Morara should be the one who's accountable. He has said explicitly that nitumieni dona, but sitakuwa accountable. You only have to trust me. No, that's not going to happen. Lazima akuwe accountable. So when I'm saying KOT talk to your boy, I'm talking about Morara. So KOT talk to Morara. Mwambie lazima akuwe accountable.
Now listen, bro.
Thank you.
Listen, please.
Prince
Let
Bala,
me ask
please
you.
stop it. Wait on your chance. Like
Can you please give me time? Please give me time, please. With all the respect, please. So,
all right, next person. Please speak, Miss Redemptor.
Thank you, Meru, and thank you, everyone. I've been patiently following because I do care about these young people, and I've always told them I'm here kama mwandishi, mwalimu, mzazi na mtetezi. First of all, KOT, I think you've been told very well about now it's time to stop being very reactive and become proactive and know that you've created enemies and that people don't sleep. The way you don't sleep discussing how to save the country, there are people who don't sleep. Morala came here and I heard his voice and I heard in his voice him saying he's not okay. So when someone is not okay, you don't keep pushing them and saying you're a leader. They need to rest. Political activism is not for the faint-hearted. When we started these forums, we did well. We were all for the movement. But now if anybody criticizes anything, it becomes they're against the movement. People are becoming very emotionally vested, not in the movement, not in change, but in a person. But when you speak that, people get fly off the handle, they talk so badly, they become so defensive, they put thumbs down. So our tolerance is becoming very noticeable. Like you said, people come and listen and they have realized these people cannot handle pressure. And whether you want to be told that or not, you've already committed so much. I have been here and I try to be very gentle, but I think it's coming to a place where I have to be a bit tough because I'm actually beginning to dread this space. Because there are people who they bring out the ukiongea tu kidogo, they fight you so hard. We used to have conversations where people even used to drop F-bombs, but it was not like this. Something has really, really changed. We've turned into a place of it's either this person who delivers us to Canaan or nothing. Raila Odinga has taken this country through that for 20 years. Every 5 years, now avukisha. So we already have a country that has been polarized based on promises. I will keep saying this movement belongs to the young people, but they cannot do it without the older people. I have said this movement does not belong to a particular group, a particular formation. It belongs to anyone and everyone who wants change. So you're edging us out because of this need to protect, like you've seen how people are coming out. When the real Joe started speaking, his mic was turned off. Real Joe has been here from June. He's in every space fighting everyone because his message is always the same. So there's a level of intolerance that is cropping up that is scaring me, that we are borderline on psychophancy, which is what we've done. Whether you liked Kenya Kwanza, whether you like Jubilee, we've done that for 20 years. Kenyans, we are hurting because we have bad leaders. Let's not also create another bad leader who can't be questioned. I have so many questions and things I would like to talk to Morara and talk to Joshua about, but I try not to do it publicly. Because when I came here, I begged for your trust that I was here as an older woman and I confessed that I'm an older woman. I mean, I'm seeing Rosemary has asked for a mic again. She was here saying, I'm trying to reach to these people so that we can help them the way we can. I host a space. I invite guests from all walks of life. It is easier to get anybody of any cadre. I can talk to Kibuda Kibwana. I can inbox him. Right now, I cannot reach these people who are supposed to be leaders. So how are you going to beat? Secondly, the ladies especially. It is ladies. And I'm sorry I'm not calling you out because I'm attacking ladies. There are wonderful ladies here in the movement. But it is the ladies who become very emotional. Very emotional. I think sometimes we need to take a break. Wanyama said he does not understand activism. The political activists that have been on the ground, that have been wounded, you will never hear them cry. Bob Njagi came out of torture and he was crying. It was very painful, but he still shared the agenda is that IEBC is a problem. He spent very little time talking about himself. This is the tough love. I keep waiting patiently. Sometimes when the temperatures are high, I leave. This is the only space I come as a participant. And I am very careful what I say publicly. I will never, ever criticize a young man, a young woman who went to the streets to fight for this country. But it's getting to a place where we have to start now saying, hey, look, you're not the only ones who made sacrifices. People died. So, I mean, KOT, I don't know. I come to your inbox, you've indulged me, you've called me anti-redemptor. I think there needs to be a place for wellness. There needs to be a place where we can hold you accountable without shaming, looking like we are criticizing. Because like Prince who's just left, I can name them. They've become so protective over the inject that you have actually created an exclusive club. So you've excluded anybody who dares criticize. I don't know if it's because people have contributed, and that's also another problem. They say the lender becomes a slave to the borrower becomes a slave to the lender. So there's a possibility that people will start speaking a different tone with authority because they've contributed. That is nature. There's a lady here who wants to be an MP. I was very impressed. And when she spoke and she said, stop holding spaces to speak, have another forum for wellness. I am volunteering, Mweru. I do wellness for activists. It is a life once you decide to do it, you cannot start crying in public. You cannot even cry in front of your tormentor. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is one. I like I've said, I'll reach out to some of these people if I can reach out to them. Even when people are hating on Casmore, I did not go there because I remember what it means to be in my 20s. So anybody who is committed to an ideology, God bless you, God protect you. Anybody who is now starting to idolize on a person, that's where we've come from, and not on my watch. I will tell you off if I have to tell you off. You know, I've come here and fought for myself when people attacked me because my children were in those streets. They nearly got killed like all of you. And I do care about wellness. And where we are going is not a well place. It's not a well place. You're putting so much pressure on one person who's not even 30 years old. So much pressure. KOT, when you, at your age, you're not coping very well with being criticized. That's a problem. And you might need therapy. And you don't realize you need therapy because you saw people die. You're in the streets. And one thing people don't realize is there's chemical warfare going on. And so some of the things that were sprayed, they are beginning to affect you. People are depressed. That is the side effect of what this wicked system has done. They've brutalized Kenyans until instead of hating, I mean, the people, let me be very honest, the people who threaten, some of the people who threaten KOT, they are fans of Morara. So if we are going there really, then we are just going to move from one oppressor to another. There are a few other things I would have liked to say, but I'll not say them publicly. I've seen Joshua was here. I'll reach out to him. There are some wonderful leaders, even in that movement, who are now beginning to live in the shadow of Morara. They have qualities of leadership, but they are not being allowed to. And the people in their diaspora, I know you mean well. I know you don't have information about what is happening in your country, but there's a way you're also only contributing to the people who appear to be shining. There are people who host space. Wanyama is here every day, Sauti ya Mwananchi. Are you supporting him also? So we can't all fit in that one place. I'm not asking for support. I've done this for the last 20 years. I've done this without pay, but I understand the young people have no jobs. They have young families and they need support. They've forgotten I held a space and talked to the ladies, asked what happened to the ladies who are in the streets. There's a way the men have edged them out of the movement. So this movement is beginning to belong to a clique of some fine-looking guys. Then there are these people who've come and given them, there are women who are having crushes on these guys. Let's be real. The kind of protectiveness I'm seeing is not good for us as a movement. And this movement belongs, even my mother in the village, she's in her 70s, she's in the movement because she keeps telling me every day she wants change. So I've waited patiently, and as usual, I say, if I've offended anyone, that was the intention. Because you can't also be people who cannot be offended. I am offended that people died, like Nonini-san. Asanteni.
Thank you so much. I had asked previously for if you and Miss Rosemary are okay taking up possibly, if you're okay with it just being a source of guidance and support. Like even today I reached out to you. So
Yes,
if you're
I'll
willing
send you
to
an
do
inbox. I'll reply to your, send you a message.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just a minute, Mweru. Can I get just less than a minute?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I didn't want to talk, but actually I had to ask for the mic when I had my sister Redemptor talking, because she hit the buttons exactly what was in my mind, some of the things I did articulate when I spoke earlier. And Mweru, you know, I sent you my WhatsApp number because we're both in the diaspora and we need to have a serious discussion on how we can support our youth. And really, at the end of the day, what I am saying, kama Auntie Wenu, I commend all of you. You are all doing a good job. Na tutaingiliana, lakini trying to vilify each other, call each other names, sijui mall ni nani, like what has been happening on KOT. Unajua, wengine ni mabloggers. So, come to his rescue. This is what you should be doing. Na hii movement lazime iwe nyinyi nyote, both men and women. Sisi ma aunties na mamadhe, we will support you. Like I said, I'm not looking for any leadership position. But when I see change and recognize change, I like it because I am trying to pass on the baton to each one of you. Nyinyi ni nafasi yenu. Wacha niwapatie very, very briefly. I live here and I've lived here for a long time. Bill Clinton, speech writer wake, the key speech writer, I can even give you the name, alikuwa 26 years old. So I recognize responsibility. You know what that young man did? That young man produced nice speeches. Na yeye, because the pressure was on to prove himself. So any of you who are as long as you're an adult, you are over 18, you are over 21, you're a leader, don't stand on the fence. Mimi sitaki kuchukua muda mrefu because this is your space, lakini I am listening keenly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your submission. I mean, I think we need insight from all generation, and I believe from what I've understood by KOT is he's welcome and he's, I guess, extending olive branches to everybody. So I really appreciate you offering your time and your input. Declan, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mweru, and to the previous speakers. I actually wanted to ask Auntie Redemptor if she could extend on my point afterwards. So I'll give my point and see if she can extend on it, because I'd love to hear what she has to say. And I know her point of view is obviously a point of view that I'm trying to hear from, and we should all hear from on this subject. I can also see that Real Joe is there. I'm excited for him to come back because he was talking on something very important for about leaders and leaders being strong. So I've come back basically to finish my point about structures, because I don't think I landed my point. So let me land my point. The reason why we need a structure, another reason, is because somebody has come and said, and no shade to this person, don't think every time I disagree with somebody, it means that I think that this person is useless. No, we are here to disagree and agree and come up with the best way forward. This person complained and said, oh, you guys are here talking about forming structures. There's Adani, there's uni education issue, there's farmers, there's what. All of those things are happening. We have one goal, isn't it? We have one goal, which is to fix the nation. And I want you to tell me, how will we achieve this best goal, achieve this one goal in the best, most efficient way if we have no structure? Do you know why a person who plans war sits in the war room and not the field? Where does the person who plans the movement of the whole battalion sit? They sit in a room somewhere very far away from where the action is happening. Do you know why? Because that person, the best thing they can do is think. The best thing they can do is think. They put all the issues on the table, they look at them, and then they say, this is our goal. These are the issues. What is the best way we can move towards the goal by tackling issue A, issue B, issue C? Is it issue A and B together? Is it issue A? Is it issue A, B, C all at the same time? The reason why we're failing as a movement is because everybody is going in a different direction, doing different things, and we are not moving forward. If we were, you know what, the thing I wanted to talk about
because the reason I'm bringing up this war room is because when I look at all the issues that I've mentioned, the most important issue that I think now we need to focus on a movement is the term extension. Now I want you to think about it and just think about it for a second. If the term extension comes through, this is one battle we have. We have Shifsha, we have Adani, we have the farmers, we have what? But all of those things that I've just mentioned will all be affected negatively if the term extension comes to pass. But because we do not have a structure, because we do not have a group of Kenyans who are critically thinking in a war room to tell us, hey, you guys, look at all of these issues. Look there. The term extension ndio italeta shida kubwa hapa. Let us go and attack that thing. And then we have people on the ground to mobilize to go for the term extension, and that alone. Now we'll focus on other things. The term extension will come to pass, and then we start losing. We are losing the war. We have to pick our battles as we move towards our goal of winning the war. If we don't get organized, look at Mau Mau. People complain, oh, we can be leaderless because Mau Mau didn't have leaders. My friend Mau Mau had leaders. The reason Mau Mau looked like they didn't have leaders is because their leadership was devolved. People reported to different
Bro,
people.
kindly wind up.
You see, and
Please, kindly wind up. There are many in the queue. Please, kindly wind up.
I'm winding, I'm finishing. And reporting to these different people, okay? Reporting to these different people and the different and the devolution, yeah. I've even lost my point. Anyway, that devolved leadership of the Mau Mau is what kept the leaders in check and kept them true to the movement, because the leadership is devolved. But it does not mean that leadership did not exist. If the Mau Mau were not organized in their structures with their leaders and their war chiefs and their who, they wouldn't have been allowed to achieve the things that they wanted to achieve. So one, I think the most important thing we need to focus on now is striking out that term extension. And for you to have this structure and these leaders and to have a system, there's no way we can say that we want to create systems that will work for us if we can't even make a system to work for our own movement. That we can. The reason why people like Ruto have been able to exist is because the system has allowed people like Ruto to come up. If the system was strong, if the structure was strong, somebody like Ruto would not be able to exist. But because the structure was weak, Ruto was able to come up and he was able to break up and he was able to exist. But if there was a strong structure, then he wouldn't be able to exist. Let me land anyway. Please, you guys, don't fear structure. Let it come, build it. People like Redemptor will focus on this. People like Rinjo will focus on that. It is very important. I think I've passed my point. The last, trust, please, anti-Redemptor, speak about trust. Because for a structure to work well, there has to be trust. So I wanted to ask anti-Redemptor to speak about trust in the movement. Because let me tell you for free, hakuna vile tutafanya hii kitu pia bila trust. There must be trust. So anti-Redemptor, if you can touch on that, asante. I think I've finished.
Before Anti-Redemptor speaks, Declan, I asked you if you're willing to take up this whole movement structure, you and Lean. Are you okay doing that? Because we can keep talking about what we need to do, but it's time to actually start doing it. Are you willing to take on that responsibility of helping? And I can also help you. I'll chip in. Do you want to be?
Okay, so very quickly, there's a group of people who approached me and told me, hey, you guys, I can just see we're going around in circles and there's no way we're going. We want to build something to track the movement, its impact, where we need to go and what we need to do. They are busy drafting, they're busy building. So if you'd like to know more about it, reach out to me. I will link you to the guys who are, to the technocrats and the people who came up with that. And they'll be able to tell you what.
Okay, so as long as somebody is working on it, so I'll check that off. All right, so next speaker is Scheme 001. Scheme 001, are you there? I guess not. Okay, Real Joe, go ahead.
Thank you, Mweru. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Hello.
Thank you.
Someone is trying to speak? Okay, let me continue. So basically, one thing I want to say is youth is not about age, but it's about the courage to chase dreams relentlessly. Someone say that. We unfortunately, I am so disappointed that I'm not going to even speak much, but we have been reduced into a group that listens to react rather than I don't know. You you're not
Rejo, please. Principal is speaking, please. Nazimpea kama dakika moja peke yake alafu nikuache uendelee alafu mimi nitakuja baadaye tena. Tafadhali.
Prince
Inawezekana?
Bobby, supposed to speak after Real Joe is done. Do you mind waiting? People have been waiting.
Can you please listen? Moeru, please. Wacha kelele mingi. Nimemuomba niongee kidogo aendelee halafu pia nitakuja nyuma yake tena. Inawezekana?
Okay, speak.
Thank you, brother. Unajua kuna jamaa ameongea hapo mbeleni sana, nilikuwa nataka kumuongelesha ama kumjibu, lakini Mweru akanitoa kwa mic na ningeomba kumjua before ni proceed. Nani alikuwa anasema Marara ati who was that guy addressing Marara like that boy? Can you please tell that boy? Alikuwa nani huyo? Nianzie hapo.
You were saying your boy. You were saying your boy, and that's an expression. He was not calling him a boy.
Who was
You were
that?
saying tell your boy, peer to peer. That's what I understood.
Ni nani alikuwa anaongea hivyo?
Imekuwa case. KOT, take over.
Okay, listen, Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. We're listening to you.
Okay, first and foremost, Morale is not a boy. Morale is a father. Morale is a leader. Morale is a brother to many. He's not a boy. So, a little respect, haita kufanya ukatike mahali. Heshima kidogo tutafadhali. Kwa sababu, tuache kudanganyana. Whatever Morale is doing, ni watu wengi sana wezifanya. Mimi ni Morara. I know him. Nimeshare interact na yeye. Nimesheka na yeye, namjua. So, isi madhara ndogo ndogo ati tell that boy, my friend, that is not your kid. That is not your son. That is a leader. That is a father. That is a husband.
Since the person is not here, Prince, now if you are addressing all of us and the person has left, is it really helping us?
Of course it does, It is helping.
Since the person, it's not us who called him that. I've tried to explain how I understood. And since the person is not here, even if now you rant, we want it's for some of us, it's about time to go and sleep.
Ranting, please get your facts well. I'm not writing. So, tafadhali, naomba tufanye hivi. Mimi mwenyewe niko kwa ground. Mimi ni timu Morara. Mimi ukiona Morara mahali niko hapo kando. Morara akishikwa mimi niko hapo station. Morara akienda vampires niko hapo kando. Akiongea lazima niongee ndo aongee. Najua ile kitu tunapitia. Chini tunafanya hapa nje si kitu rahisi. Kitu tunafanya hapa nje si kila mtu anaweza fanya. Ile kitu sisi tunawaomba. Morara is not perfect, Baha si perfect. Sisi wote tunaweza fanya makosa. Tunaweza kosea bila kujua. Nyinyi kama wafuasi wetu ama kama Wakenya wenzetu, mnafaa kutuambia in a good way, si kutupigia kelele. Kwa sababu tutachoka. Na ile hatuwezi sumbuliwa na Ruto na serikali, halafu nyinyi pia mtupigie kelele. Tutachoka bana. Tutakosa nguvu. Tafadhalini, tukikosea mahali, kuja kwa njia mzuri. Umefanya hivi na hivi, hii si kwa tutasikia. Tuko tayari kutolewa makosa wakati wote. Morara ako tayari kutolewa makosa wakati wote. Lakini usikuje hapa kutuongelesha kama sisi ni watoto wako. Tumejitolea. Nani azijitolea kama vitu sisi tumejitolea? Mimi nilipigwa risasi 8. Mora ameshikwa mara ngapi? Juzi tukikimbiza na DCA huko. Nyinyi mlikuwa wapi? Lakini tunafanya hivi kwa sababu ya Wakenya, kwa sababu ile utu tunataka kwa Wakenya. Mimi nikiongea hapa juzi niliitwa Westlands Pride Inn Hotel. We were offered billions of shillings, but we refused. Naweza audio hapa mkusikia kama mtakusikia. Tukasema sisi ni Wakenya. Wakenya wametubeba. Na hatuwezi wa disappoint, hatuwezi wasaliti. Na so tafadhalini, tumeacha vitu mingi kwa sababu ya nchi yetu, kwa sababu ya Wakenya wenzetu. Tukikosea, tuko tayari kuambiwa makosa yetu na tutarekebisha. Usikuje hapo kutuongelesha ni kama ati sisi tuko above the law ama sisi like our word is final. No, please. Tunataka kutolewa makosa na tuko tayari kujua makosa yetu na tutarekebisha. Tafadhalini, mkijua vile vitu tunapitia.
Weka audio bro.
Ati?
Weka hiyo audio.
Okay.
Weka hiyo audio.
Sawa, nakuwekea sasa hivi. Tulia, nakuwekea sasa hivi. Ndio mimi sitenganyangi. Na nikiendelea wacha ni share sasa hivi. Kwa sababu zile vitu sisi tunapitia ni vitu mingi. Na hakunanga mtu ambaye hananga msimamo anaweza fika kama tumefika. Tumepitia majaribu mingi. Tumejaribu kununuliwa. Tumejaribu kupewa kila kitu. Mimi mwenyewe naendesha gari yenyewe hata sijui ni gari ya kukodisha. Nimeambiwa unataka kuendesha gari gani? Unataka gari gani? But I refuse. Kwa sababu unajua Mora akianguka mimi nimeanguka kama Baha. Na hata Mora akiwa na lawama, mimi nitakuwa na lawama kubwa. Baha, where are you? Hiyo ni swali ambalo sitaweza kujibu mbele ya Wakenya. Tumejitolea kwa kila kitu.
Can I ask a question? Naweza uliza swali?
Please.
Mumeenda therapy tangu hii mambo yote ifanyike?
For what?
So because you don't believe in therapy, already watu wanakusikiza, they can see you need therapy. Kuna kitu inaitwa burnout, Prince Bahad. Na hakuna maana ya mkufe mkitetea inchi. Kama mtu wako na burnout, wellness, because we are all, people are committing suicide at this time because Kenyans don't believe in therapy. So the way you're talking, I'm saying this not to criticize you, that sounds like a burnout, a very bad burnout, where you feel unappreciated, you feel like no one cares, and this forum was not going to help you, it's going to make it worse for you. You saw Bob Njagi crying in public. He didn't want to cry. People, he went to a radio station, they still wanted to know what happened to him. So the way you're sounding, you're a man who has gone through the most. You've seen a lot of bad things. So coming to this wall is the wrong thing. I hope anazima mic na hata rudi. Honestly, people are so broken. Ladies and gentlemen, people are broken because of what is going on. And if we don't take care of our mental health, we are not going to save this country. Morales has come to this wall and said he's not okay emotionally. He told us. But does that stop people from criticizing Prince? People are mean. There's a lady who came. What was the name of that girl? He said, Kenyans, we are like this. Sasa tutawafanyia nini if you can't handle the pressure? If you don't want to go for therapy?
Sikiliza.
And that's why people come to these walls and they cry because there's no other place to go to.
Daniel, we have a queue going on here.
Okay.
Can we wait on our time? It was supposed to be Real Joe speaking, but Prince Baha, I agree with Redemption.
Moyo, please, can you please step back and let us have a conversation, please? I respect you as a co-host, but please give us time, please. I want to answer.
Hear you, but we also have to respect other people that speak. It's respect goes always.
Naomba kujibu madam unaongea, alafu mtaendelea tafadhali tu. Siwezi ongea forever. Like 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, I'm giving you 2 minutes if you, but I agree with Redemptor. I will give
Okay.
you 2
Because
more.
Prince
Your
Bahati, if you're not drunk calling us, then you could be also having a breakdown. We know a breakdown when we see it. We know a panic
Bahat,
attack when we. So something is off, and I
can I
don't
just
think this forum is the best place for you right now.
can I just chime in, Baha? I'm saying, Baha, unanisikia?
Of course, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, I'm saying, you need to understand something, what's happening? Number one, it's normal, and number two, you're going. This is a war of attrition, This is a war of attrition. The government knows that, and for all intents and purposes, so do you, So what's happening right now? All the things that is they're testing your defenses. They're testing our defenses. You attack, then you pull back so that they can test your defenses. So even what you're going through right now, all these two squabbles, these two fights, this is not even the actual fight, boss. These are just the defenses getting tested so that they have data on where to attack when it actually matters. So Ikushika Murara, all these things you're seeing right now, even like the stuff you're saying you're going through right now, so they're giving you money, they're not even all they're doing is testing your defenses. They want to see up to what point can we buy these guys. So now we have a baseline. Like everything that's happening both right now, this is not even the actual fight. This is just they're testing your defenses. And when they actually attack, you need to be ready for it. So you're supposed to look at everything that's happening not as an actual war, but as if you're getting your defenses tested. So you're supposed to use them to toughen up. You're like, okay, how did I react when they tested this? So they're inadvertently telling you what to protect, but they don't expect you to know that. So all these things they're doing, it takes a wise mind to look at them from a different perspective. You're getting attacked, you're reacting. What you're supposed to know is that this is not the actual fight, no matter how much it looks like it is. They're just testing your defenses because we have time. They have time. So you're supposed to look at everything that's happening like, okay, how did we react when they did this? So they think they have information about you, but you're actually strengthening the defenses. So you're not supposed to be like, wow, these guys have done this to me. They are testing your defenses. You're supposed to toughen them up.
Thank you, Daniel.
I
Real
would
Joe, please.
suggest, Moira, I would suggest you get Prince off the mic because honestly, it's not okay to see someone having this kind, because and I'm sorry, I'm going to say it because I don't like to beat about the bush, either is having a breakdown or is drunk calling.
Yeah, and that's why honestly I suggested that. I mean, sometimes it's wise if you reach people in the DM, because if he's actually having a meltdown, now he's exposed to them what is essentially is happening to him. It's not a anyway. Let's hear from Real Joe and then Liz.
Thank you, Mweru. I think maybe one thing we should know about Prince Baha, like he said, he was shot 8 times. He really needs therapy. You might think he doesn't need it. You might think he's strong. He really needs therapy. It's not the first time he's breaking down on space, by the way. I think there's a time he used to co-host for KOT. KOT can bear you witness. There's a time even KOT had to drop him a number of times. He really need that for his mental health. I think he really needs to sort that. Maybe he feels he's too strong for that. I don't think he is. He's breaking down completely, and that's not right. Also, he's just also proving what we've spoken before. I think Redemptor, you said this. Rosemary, you also said this. I mean, he's overprotective about Morara and things like that. This is something that we've done for several years. And we've been doing this for leaders, purported leaders, or those who want to take leadership positions. We don't need to love. We don't need to do those kind of overprotection to leaders and things like that. It is them who are supposed to be protecting the people they want to lead. You don't need to love your leaders in that manner. It is supposed to be the other way around. They're the ones who are supposed to love you in that manner. But I don't want to speak much because I feel like this space, KOT, and I'll tell you this directly, I feel like this space has turned out to be something else. People are no longer talking about issues. We're just fighting each other for nothing. You are listening to respond. You're listening to react. and that's not right. I'll advise you as my young brother, because you are the age mate of our last born brother, that it's not supposed to be like this. You are eyeing leadership positions. I really hope you get to what you really want to get. But leadership is so many things, KOT. Leadership starts with you from the house, from how you conduct yourself, even in the state. That's how leadership starts. Not everybody will show all those qualities of leadership. We are young people. KOT, I've told you this before, that some of us, for example, not even some of us, I'll give you an example with me, KOT. I run a tech company. These young people that we are seeing here, I've employed people age mates to them. I am a young person myself, and this is a group of people who, even where I work or how we interact with them, we somehow, I don't know, this is just a nature for we young people, or I don't know, we are very, very intolerant. But this intolerance is causing distractions to this movement, whereby we don't want to listen to each other, we don't want to converse constructively. We don't want to do that. And if we don't want to do that, we'll not head anywhere. We'll not head anywhere. I've seen a lot of bad behaviors that have shaped up in this movement, and it's no longer attainable at some point. But see, for people like us, we really don't. I really don't care. I will always speak on the space. I don't care. I will always say what I want to say, as long as I know it is supposed to make change. It's supposed to change someone, and it's supposed to steer this movement moving forward. That is what I all want for the movement. So moving forward, I think KOT, we really need to change tactics on how we address each other in these spaces. Thank you very much, Mweru. Thank you, KOT, and good night.
Hang on, Rejo, before you leave. I think the one thing you inspired me was to read the Adani deal, because you and Wanyama conducted a space where you actually were reading the deal for everybody, the people who were listening. So as we were discussing about having structures, you're very conversant with the Adani issue, you and Wanyama. Are you willing to at least being the people basically spearhead this, where you focus on what is happening with Adani? We're trying to sort of prevent being spread too thin and losing focus and losing details. Are you willing to take on something like this, where you're the one, you understand what I'm saying, right? Are you okay doing that? I know we have a case in court coming up on the 17th. We have to follow up on the one that they just had in the High Court with the LSK. Are you okay being the eyes on this, so we can, when we have spaces like this, people...
Mara, just 1 minute. I really would suggest that this is done inbox. These are deals of billions, and people can be targets. So can the conversations then happen? You've asked the person they've had, so the reply, let them reply in the inbox.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so Liz, do you have something you want to say?
Okay, I wanted us to remind ourselves about something. So before you remember, everybody can concur with me, we were leaderless, and most of it is because we had, okay, I will quote it. It's like a fear of one of us, maybe atatuuza ama atauliwa, tunamweka akue anaweza uliwe and all that. Okay, we are supposed to, I understand the aspect of some of us, they have an idea of we are not focusing on someone specifically, but honestly speaking, I understand this gentleman that came here mwenye amepigwa nini, what do you call, amepigwa akona 8 gunshots. Sometimes huwezi elewa kama wewe mwenyewe hauko karibu na huyu mtu, kama amekuwa na morara na ameona all the sacrifices and everything. So let's validate the fact that anajua what is going on. So let's validate him. And okay, there are some people also, when they're expressing themselves, they cry. I would say, let him just cry, it's okay. And also, if he has he needs therapy, he needs to see therapy, like I mentioned before. So many people have PTSD, and PTSD comes with
not trusting. Honestly, anaongea kuna mtu wako behind yeye. Kama we love you, our brother, like we all brothers and sisters, and sometimes we disagree to agree. No matter what, we are fighting for one cause, and before you are anybody, or before you are this or that, we are all Kenyans, and we are fighting for one cause. Ruto must go. So wata tumuelewe. Watu wengine wanaji expressingi wanalia, na ni kwa sababu maybe anaona venye nani ana sacrifice. Tulikuwa tumekosa mtu anaweza jitolea atokee aseme like akuwe leader wa hii movement, na Morara amejitokeza. Let's respect that. Hata kama yenyewe akona his own weakness, let's respect that. Yeah. Actually, let me tell you something. Unaona hii issue ya Bomas venye amechapwa, I think ni kama ilikuja, some things happen for a reason, kwa sababu ilikuja kufungua pia macho, kutufungua macho about so many things, about the issue of security, about the issue of a mall and all that. Ni kama vitu zingine, challenges sometimes they come to open our eyes. Sometimes they make us challenges come to make us learn. Yeah, let's just focus on Ruto must go and everything that has been going on. And my brother, if you can hear me, consult like someone, talk to someone who can help you. And everybody else, every one of us, kwanza venye watu waliuliwa manze, kwanza huyu chali mwenye alishutiwa hapo karibu na parliament, they blew his brains out. Everybody has kind of like that PTSD. I live fab. I have that. Anyway, I love your Baraka. Yeah. I don't ni kama nilikuwa na points na nimezisahau zote, but yeah, consult. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Culture Kenya, you're next.
Just wanted to clarify, mnanisikia, si ndio?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to do a flyer, and I think we need to do an international day of protests. I'm usually in Kenya for 6 months and then in the US. I think, and I know the international people here, there are a lot of people in London, kuna watu US, kuna watu Berlin, Germany. Guys, we are protected here. Why are we not backing our people home? Najua, we can't just be saying, hey, Ruto must go. Like, let's do our part and pick up the momentum. They are being shot. A lot of things are going there. Here we are protected. The police are going to come. We can protest for 2 days, and every international city in the world, they are Kenyans. Kenyans are, I've been even to Greece, kuna wa Kenya huko. Why don't we do an international day of protest and highlight? Because this guy is trying to be the golden boy internationally and bring these issues in an international. And it will give people back home the momentum to go ahead and protest. We are at we are in countries where they safeguard human rights. Nobody will touch us. So I'm going to do that and highlight that and pass that fly around. I'm not going to have a date, but I need people to pick this up. There are a lot of international Kenyan DJs who are known. Then there are also all other Africans who are supporting us. They'll join us. And there are a lot of Africans in the diaspora. And then also our American friends. So we need to protest internationally. This guy is always in New York walking around in the streets. So why is he that free? So if our people back home are having a hard time, they are being shot. Some of them are like, okay, we are sending money and have contributed a lot, but we need to do the next step, which is go out in the streets of Berlin, Go out in the streets of London, go out in the streets of New York, Atlanta, in every major city, 2 days on a weekend, back to back, and highlight that this man is killing us and he's a dictator. There are a lot of, especially where I am, there are a lot of Haitians. And these people do not like the Kenyan police being there. They are going to join us. Everybody is backing us up. So I'm saying the international people, I know we send a lot of money back home. Ruto is coming for our money that we send home. People are saying we annually we're sending 4 billion. By 2027, we'll be sending 1 trillion US dollars in Kenya. Don't think he will be coming for a cut of that money. So let's pick up our people, and we can't just say now it's Gen Z. Now all the fathers who are international, all the moms, everywhere from 50 to 60 to anybody who's 30 years, 20 years, kila mtu tunaenda.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
mean, I
we
agree.
can be able. We can
I
we
agree.
can be able to do that. Before I land again, I will. We need to do that, international people, and back up our people in Kenya so that they can see we are doing our part. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for that submission. I agree with you. I think there's something. There's a lady that is already coordinating that, but I agree with you. We need to work on that. To Fulani, I don't see him here. Data activist, go ahead.
Thank you, Mwero, and thank you to everyone who has spoken. And Mwero, please check your DMs. There are guys who are trying to talk to you on DM. I would like to speak to something. We had a space yesterday, and nothing was on that space, and I learned something from that space. And in fact, what I learned was actually everything, and it ties into what we are discussing here now. And what I learned was something that it came from KD. I cannot take credit from it. I learned it from KD, and he talked about the think acronym before we speak. Yeah, and it basically stands for, when you speak, whatever you say needs to be true, helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind. That's the think acronym. And there is a lot going on. There are emotions all over the place, and that is completely normal. Yeah, let's not judge each other. Let's not the fight. We still have a long way to go. And when you fight, and this part, I'm speaking as a man. When you find Prince Baha coming on space and saying the things he's saying, as a guy, from a mental health perspective, let him vent. No one knows what he is going through. We also need to be able to empathize. This is a space where he can vent, because if he doesn't vent here, it's a positive venting space. There are other ways of venting which are not so helpful. Let him vent. Yeah? Because he's speaking his mind, and here, this is a safe space. Yeah? And we listen, because everyone is also going through a personal journey, much as we are going through this journey together, the national journey. Yeah? And let's not judge each other. And, as men, we handle mental issues differently. Us guys don't know how to handle mental issues, by the way. So when someone has an opportunity to speak, let him, because he has opened up. He has opened up. It's not easy to do that. So my urge to you guys, all of you, think that acronym when you're saying something, whatever it is you're saying, because you're the voice of the voiceless. Let it be true. Let it be helpful. Let it be inspiring. And is it necessary? Yeah? And is it kind? because we need to be that for each other. That is my call to all of you. Thank you.
I appreciate your submission, but I think there's also another angle to look at this. Personally, I work in the field, the healthcare and mental field. Redemptor here says she works in a similar field. Sometimes venting for a very long time in a space like this, where you know they might be listening, might also not be safe for him. But we, according to what Redemptor has proposed, the best bet is for him to seek assistance, help, and he's not willing to do it. So going forward, are you guys willing to reach out to him and maybe convince him that he might need more of a professional sort of help? And then we can go from there and see how we can help him in that. That is just my proposition.
I'm willing to reach out. I'm willing to reach out. And Anti-Redemptor, please follow me so that we can see how to work on that together for him and for others.
Yeah, so we have to start providing that kind of, even if we have to donate money to get him some help. I mean, that's what we have to do. But just listening to him for a lengthy time doesn't mean that we're necessarily helping him. But please go ahead. I saw Anti-Redemptor, you had your hand up if you wanted to respond to what he was saying.
Yeah, that's again because of we feel very protective when someone is breaking down. The danger then of allowing someone to vent on things that have security implications, and someone actually was even daring him to play a tape, is putting the man's life at risk. So it's not judgment. Sometimes you actually can remove someone from a place where they will do more harm. And also, now this brings to light what I'm saying. It means you have frontline soldiers who have no mechanisms for getting help. It is very unfair for the people who are saying go to the front line, and there's no mechanism. Joshua Okayo was here earlier on. He was abducted. He is also on the front line. I saw him the other day making a bid for his hospital, for his medical care, and I was wondering, the people who are providing money for the activities, if there is no wellness, the organizations that dedicate themselves to supporting people, so it means there's a gap somewhere. And like I said, I don't like to talk about these things publicly, but it means there's a gap, and people who are just saying chocha enda tupiganie must realize that this is a very difficult task. That when people saying this guy is tired, let him take a break, then you say, no, he's our leader. We cannot afford to lose people with so much potential because you want their courage. So that's data. It's not judgment. It's the kind of conversation he was beginning to expose. It is dangerous for him. So no judgment, all the kindness intended. And Mweru, you handled it very well. Sorry, I had to jump in because I know a breakdown when I see it. I've seen it enough time. So no judgment at all. This is brutal. Brutalized Kenyans is my area of specialization. You saw when Bob Mjagi came out of abduction, there's a people put a ring around him. They protected him. You saw when Boniface Mwangi went through it. So because these are new people and they've come with freshness, the systems already exist for people in the front line. People have been fighting injustice in this country for a long time and they are hurt. So if you come into this and you don't know what happens when you're trying to fight a deal worth 104 billion, you're going to get hurt. So I feel you when you want the young people to fight for you. I've come here from even KOT needs some care right now. The kind of post he's making, and I'm not judging him. I'm just saying he needs some time off. He needs a system of people, because we are very good as Kenyans at throwing money at problems. So because ulituma pesa, now you don't care what that person does. I don't care. Just get the job done. So the data activists, this is something I've tried, but it's very hard, and I'll keep pushing for the few that I can talk to. I've talked to some who've been on the front line. I look specifically for the ladies because people are having breakdowns. So when I come and I find an older woman in some of these forums saying, twende to chome, twende to fanya, I'm like, why are you misleading? And then people come and say, I've killed the momentum. I am the most courageous person, but I have my limits. So sorry for preaching. But even in this forum, there are people who are enjoying when we are suffering. Asanteni, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what I mentioned in a previous space, that besides even the issues that we are facing with the movement in general, people are still dealing with real life struggles. People are dealing with family issues, work issues, illnesses. So let's not say that because somebody is a man, they have the strength to handle things and they have the strength or whatever. It's not even about being a man or a woman here. When it comes to mental health, it comes to mental health. And life is not easy. We don't need to see wounds or gunshot wounds, especially him that has gunshot wounds. That means he needs a lot of mental health and mental assistance. So if somebody is able to maybe find somebody that we can, even if find somebody who has, who is a professional in this that can be of assistance to him and let us know, that would be great. That is the only way to help him. So the next speaker is supposed to be
Mweru,
Daniel.
sorry to interrupt you. Mweru, nothing would like to have the mic. Something she would like to say. And Anti-Redemptor, please follow me. I think I have a few ideas on how we can help him and others like him, because there are quite a number of us going through these things. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, nothing. I haven't seen her request, but Daniel, go ahead and I'll send a mic to nothing. But I think these are the positions that we also need to emphasize on having, that mental health needs to be prioritized.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good morning, I mean. Are you getting me?
I think it was supposed
Hello?
to be Daniel, but go ahead.
In fact, I've just decided to get crashed, and I'm sorry for that. For the reason that, in fact, I've been here trying to hear my issues concerning the entirety of all this matter. But first of all, let me thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and acknowledge God's presence for all this will be, or rather is happening because we have the hand of God with us. To begin with, I can just tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that this is just a mere beginning. We have not reached anywhere. The moment we start talking about traumas, talking about fear, we won't get anywhere. We can't fight a war and win without bloodshed. Even army, after winning a war, it is just celebrated by few who survive. Many die. What do I mean here? What I mean is that we should completely shun from fear, so long as we know what we are fighting for is right and truthful, and it is the expectation of, by any simple wisdom, that the moment you are right and true in what you are doing, you put fear aside. Let us be clever anyway as we tackle these things, because stupidity cannot be an aspect of bravery. Let us strategize and move forward, knowing that we are going to win this war together. And something else is about embracing emotional intelligence. Let us not rush, or rather feel as if we are enemies to each other when we are fighting a common war. Let us not embrace blames. Let us train ourselves to be emotionally stable, in that some differences here and there might arise, but that one should not be causes of conflict within this liberative forum. Again, as I speak, I will point out that we should be aware that for any movement, for any organization, for any political party to thrive and emerge triumphant, first of all, the key here is strategy. You fail in anything at the strategy level. When the strategy fails, don't expect triumphant results. Results will come out only when we are strategizing, organizing things in a way that we are aiming towards a ending that is worthy proud of, not just fighting a war and then we end it at a point whereby we become the object of shame and embarrassment. For the unrighteous will win it when we lose the right strategy. regional distribution, balance, physical meetings if possible. And again, we should not be there to dismiss ideas of people depending going by their popularity, how someone is popular in these forums that we open up, how somebody new can come here and introduce an idea that will be the mother of our ideas and make our strategies effective. And at the end of the day, we all emerge to invert and smile at the result of what we are going to achieve. By this, we should embrace each other. We should differ with love. We should correct each other positively. And again, assist one another, rise depending on the abilities and interest by giving roles and responsibilities based on one's abilities, talent, and passion, the love for what you like doing most. Then biasness from regional and tribal balances, or rather where one comes from, religiously, economically, perhaps professionally. Let us be one, united towards fighting one common enemy, because as we can speak now, our country is being invaded by demoralized souls who have no hope for the generations to come. Why am I saying this? A mistake made by a leader, for example, the president, who is power hungry and assertive on amassing resources for himself and family, as if he's the only person who has got the sins to sire children, will bring a problem that will be inherited by many generations. If you look at the Andan philosophy, another cartel that has risen by the name Andan, and going by the rate at which it is winning tenders in the country, the president must be having a very strong hand at it, and he must be the beneficiary. Therefore, the sign for that year's benefit, when we have got only 3 years to the next election, means if we use him out today, even tomorrow, he will be benefiting from us, because the agreement with Adani goes all through to 30 years. Therefore, generations will suffer because of this. What I am saying in simple ones is that we should take this liberation as the most serious thing and be ready to die for those who will come to live in a better country than we found it. Even in our families, some people sacrificed for some goodness that we have tasted. Therefore, strategy is key in this thing. Outreach is another important thing. And I don't know how we will take it. The moment we are in fear, we will not be able to open up regional distribution and outreach across all social media. Let us be open. Let us speak our voices openly. Let that policeman come for us. And as they try to shoot us, when they miss, we still engage them and tell them, you are your brothers and your sisters, and what you are fighting for is affecting you, is affecting your family. You are in the government today. Perhaps come tomorrow morning, there won't be anyone else in your family in that government. And the affairs by which it runs will be affecting each and every one of us at the time every generation shift. Now, to keep the movement alive, let us prove that no one is behind us, as it is commonly said to, for example, if, for instance, the deputy president currently, one of the issues arraigned before him in court is mobilizing the Gen Z demonstrations. Can we be independent and speak about our inabilities here and there, so that those who are able in that area can provide some assistance so that we can move ahead without having the ideological assumption by everyone that we are a project of other people. We are a project of political leaders who have already thrown the system. Let us embrace the change and fight for it, knowing that we are doing it for us. If we get someone who is in the government and is of our mindset, we embrace him. If we get a old woman, these things someone has already said